We'll figure it out, folks. Somebody said y'all could hear us talking on the deal. We got nothing to hide here at PRT. Our lives are open books. It's a nightclub up in here, guys. Up in the comments section. It's what we do. It's how we do. Everybody ready? Can y'all hear me? How's my audio sounding in there? It's crazy. We can't. We've done this before. Now we can't do it again. I don't know what the hell's going on. Why is it this hard? Oh, can y'all hear me? Everything got screwed up from the studio last week. We had to move everything out because there was water everywhere. Just absolutely everywhere. Tim, thank you for that donation for the Henderson family. Appreciate it. Shocked to see one person in here. Are we friends? You know, dude, if I thought we weren't friends, I just don't think I could bear it. Why are you here? Well, anyways, let's do the Patreon. Miguel Guerra, Kenneth Hunter, Bonnie Smith, Michael Bardwell, Eric Garcia, Linde Perkins, Ryan, Tim Lewis, Super Hornet 1, Debbie Wolf, Graydon McKee, Extreme Reality Check, Jojo Beckman, Histotech, James Estrada, Tracy Clark, Tim Menard, Ricardo Herrera, Corley Cantor, Tanya Willis, Barry, Pradina, J.R. Bird, Titan, Ken Accelerate, Chronological, Dead Man Walking, Max Henry, Guy, Kieran Christian, Don Wells, Melissa Panay, Derek Tribble, Andre Krask, Shannon, Dick Richards, Invictus, NVIDIA, Robert Harris, Bobby Atchestein, Lorraine Weatherman, Joyce Brunette, Wendy Page Williams, Barbara Blendy, Martin Hertel, Terry Fusler, Chris Clough, Curtis Turner, Denise Keller, Philip Morn, and Loretta Sumke. Thank you for your patronage. We appreciate it. It's greatly appreciated. And Miguel Guerra, that's very generous of you. Thank you. For those of you who have been, and I've said this the other day on the live stream that went on Saturday, it was just kind of an impromptu live stream. For those of you who were on that live stream, in case you missed it for this one, if you are a $10 and up Patreon, you can, and you've been with us for 3 months or more, send me your information and I will send you out some PRT swag. Like here, Philip Morn. Okay, you're over $10 a month, and you have been doing it since January 23rd. So you would get something from us. I'll put as much good stuff in there as I can. like to give everybody a hoodie or a shirt or something, you know. I think you deserve it for helping support the show. And for those of you who aren't, and you're just freeloading on my time, welcome. As you know, a lot of you know, I had to get glasses. It's a problem seeing clearly. So I got 2 pair. I can't see like really close. Now I can read the, I was having to do this. You know, I can't see it. I was having to get, squint. With these, I can see the questions quite clearly. But these are my favorite ones. I'm the bad guy? I'm the bad guy. Says all that. Anyways, I don't know what's going on. I was supposed to have Ken and Barton come on the show. And, Lau just texted back, said, no, he hasn't heard from Ken today. So I don't know. I talked to Ken earlier. I can't get a hold of him now. We'll see what happens. Maybe he fell asleep. I mean, he's been very tired, been very busy. They had a conference this weekend. Ken and Lyle did. If I told you the day I had folks, you probably wouldn't even believe me. You'd probably think I was just making up stories. But here at PRT, unlike over at Voldemort's channel, we welcome you. You see, all blinged out, you know what I'm saying, fool? We like this nightclub atmosphere up in here, you know what I'm saying? Get your scare on. We here to entertain you, yo. That's how we do it. That's how we do it up in here. Whereas over there, you get chastised for having fun, being scared, or being entertained. And your host comes out and chastises you for it. Shame on you. Shame on you people for having fun and having a good time. Shame that you like that. Somebody says, Wolf, did you know Brenton Songwin? Yes, I did. Why did his daughter take his videos down? You know, I know a story about it, but I don't know if it's the accurate one. So what do you want me to tell you? Apparently there was something involving a video game channel or something like that, and I can't, it is what it is. So, okay, so Ken texts me back. So what we're going to do tonight, folks, we have a lot to talk about and a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of guests coming in and going. So we're going to do some stuff. I just got him text back, him and Barton. So there's no way to put them on together. We don't know how to do it. We're that technologically, we're Amish.
No, we know how to do it. It depends on whether or not
they know how to do it. So Skype. Okay. So Skype or Google Hangouts. Well, Barton does not have either one. So if you could work on that, tell him, or you can, you got it right there. Tell him, Barton, get with the times, man. Be cool, man. So here's what I'm going to tell y'all. I had a talk with a million different people today. Okay. Our building project, let's start with that. I get a call from my mortgage broker. Okay. He's also the guy who's helping with the construction, getting it going, whatever. There's a law firm that you have to go through that they use to sign off on the legalese to get your stuff so you can start the build. It's like a curse, dude. I'm not joking. It's crazy. He said, dude, you had to put this on your show. He told me we had the flood that came in. Then now we find out that the lawyer's office had been flooded too. Same flood, same thing. But they ruined a bunch of stuff, and so they're not going to be in for a week. So we got to wait another week to get things going. Okay, this is crazy. I'm ready to build this house and move into it. I'm ready to sleep in it. I'm tired of this. So that's how my day started off. It was just one thing after another. Then I had a guy who works for us. Please pray for him and his family. They're now homeless. So now I'm going to have to help them get a place, and it's awful. Absolutely awful. It's a sad situation, very, very sad. They were living with some people, and that those people had a child that passed away, and then one of my sisters, the good one, finds out the house she's been renting, and they're actually going to sell it, so she has to move out. So I have to help put these people up, which I have no problem doing because one of them is a good friend I've known for 20 years, and then the other one is my sister. So it is what it is. The day it started off rough. I thought, this day is really bad, not going good. But then I got a phone call from Lauren Coleman, and that started off, you get a call from the godfather of cryptozoology, like, hey, what's going on? And so Lauren called me, and that was awful. That was awful. That was awesome. That was really cool to be able to get a phone call from Lauren Coleman, who wouldn't, and Lauren was thrilled that we were going to be making the action figure line for his museum. And he wanted me to be a part of it. He wanted me to be an action figure in his museum. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. He actually said that and said I did good work. So I was like, that's great. That's awesome. I appreciate that that's cool. I thought that was really cool conversation. And he's agreed to eventually be able to come on the show. He's got a lot going on because he's opening up another museum, and he's dealing with a bunch of issues that were kind of similar to what I was going through with different things that I'm having to deal with. And so I thought, that's cool. Maybe the day isn't so bad. So that was a great conversation I had with Lauren. And so that was, yeah. We've corresponded back and forth, but not actually spoken on the phone. And I had a famous TV person, I'm not going to mention their names, but told me that I needed to type up a report to them, basically, and tell them about my encounter and blah, blah, blah. This is the second one that's done it. And I'm going like, do I work for you? Because I don't remember ever working for you. And don't need a job right now. So that was pretty aggravating. I tell you what, the people who are the least important, the people who aren't, those are the ones that have the worst attitude. Okay? It's like one of them in particular, I'm kind of like, I'm doing you a favor, talking to you. I don't know, and how it turns into I'm wasting your time. And you know who you are. And I don't really care. It's really, I was like, hey, you want to do something. If not, whatever. It's amazing. But the really, really good people, they're that way, and everybody knows, that they have a good reputation. So, because they're good people. Somebody says, be careful, they threw Scott Carpenter under the bus. I want to say something about that right now. My friend Ken Gerhardt's name's been thrown around about that, and he had nothing to do with that, okay? He was on the same episode, but he wasn't the one that said Scott wasn't telling the truth. That had nothing to do with him. Okay, so I didn't hear any more talk about that in my presence about him, because that's ridiculous. Did you already put the title on there?
Yeah.
Is there a way to change it? Can you alter the deal? Tell them to post in the groups that Ken and Barton are going to be coming on. And then after that, we'll have D.A. Roberts or whatever. Just tell them to put them on there.
Can only do it right now.
Well, you can tell them to announce it in the groups so we can get.
I mean, getting both of them on the phone on the stream at the same
Uh
time.
huh.
Is if Ken calls Barton or Barton calls Ken, either way, or no, if Ken calls Barton,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then that's the way.
recall
Okay.
Barton as emergency.
All right. So Ken, I know you're probably listening, and Barton. The only way we can do the three-way, which we have to do, okay, is for one of y'all to call the other. I don't know if you have each other's numbers. We're on the. Let me see the phone. I can get it done. Let's do it.
You're gonna have to send Ken his number,
Okay.
or vice versa.
All right. So there, just take Ken's number and send it to Barton. I'm busy doing a show. So anyways, what's going on? I got big news. Yes, I do. I got it's a lot of stuff going to happen. Now, if you pay attention to the show tonight, get as many people as you can to get on here. Okay. Cause we're not having to build an ark tonight. Okay. Cause it's not raining. I still haven't gotten the roof fixed. That's another problem, but, that will be done. We'll take care of it. It's going to get done. Nothing's going to stop this. This train is going to keep rolling, dudes. Nothing's going to stop it. One of these prima donnas telling me I need to write them a report. Like, what? I need to give you a detailed report of my dogman encounter? I'll get right on that. Right after I, Oh, I'm not going to even say it. Hi, Barton. Barton's on here. Ken's on here. So anyways, right after I got off the phone with Lauren Coleman, this is true. I'm not making this up. I immediately go into a phone call with Nick Redfern. And while I'm on the phone with Nick Redfern, I get a call from David Weatherly. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. This is, and then right after I got off the phone with David Weatherly, I was messaging with Jody Cook, right off the phone with him. And then Nick Valenti and D.A. Roberts, which was just like, it was like, wow, this is crazy. And a lot of different people from the field. And I just couldn't believe how many people I was talking to today. Then I get a message from Linda Godfrey. That was cool. I was like, it's just good for her to, to have her interacting with me and messaging me. And just hoping that she gets better and does better. Something went down this past weekend that really aggravated me. There was a conference, a Beast of Bray Road conference, and Linda wasn't invited. Now I don't understand that. I can't wrap my mind around that. How are you going to have a conference in that area and do something like that without her being there? So one of the things that I talked to with, and then of course, I was messaging earlier with Lyle and Ken about their conferences and what, and all that. And so all in a span of like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, I was talking to all these different people. So I had an idea, boom. And I talked to David Whitley about it. Me and David Whitley had a hilarious conversation. I like David a lot. He's a good friend. And he says, you need to just put together a conference, Josh. That's what you need to do. And I told him that me and Ken were in the process of doing that at one time. And I guess they were up in Van Meter and he had mentioned it to Ken. And so that was in the works, but COVID derailed it. Just like when Lyle was supposed to come to the studio, it got derailed by COVID. Pink Dahlia, Linda is doing better than she was. But she still needs your prayers, please, everybody. Prayers and good thoughts. Send good energy to Linda. Please pray for her. I don't understand how you can have a conference without her. In the region, in the area, and Anthony, you're sitting right here. You said the same thing. How do you have a conference?
I mean, you don't. You're not supposed to.
So that didn't sit well with me. And yeah. So if we have a conference, I want to know how many people will go. And I'm not just talking about 200 or 300 people in the chat room here today. I want you guys to send me, I'm going to make a post about it in the Paranormal Round Table group. And I want to know realistically, seriously, how many people would show up. I want to get several people from this field to go to this conference. I don't know that Linda could have even made the conference. But the thing is that she wasn't even invited. Definitely be invited to mine because she's one of my mentors. And I definitely would have Barton and hopefully I could get David Weatherly and Ken and Lyle and we could all go do this. D.A. Roberts and Nick Valente are already looking into a spot in Missouri. I wanted to do it in Fort Worth just because I love Fort Worth and it's not only is it in Texas, it wouldn't be so far for me and for Redfern and Lyle, it's just right there. They go down the street. They wouldn't have to get the hotel or anything. For Ken, it'd be a few hours, and for me, it'd be about 3. But would it be convenient? Even though we're kind of in the middle of the country, we'd be up high enough. But would it be better to go to Missouri? But then you're further away from the West Coast. I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, what we're going to do today, once we get about 200 people in here, I'm going to have a 3-way call between Ken Gerhard, Barton Nunley, and myself. And we're going to explain to you what we're doing. And I really think that this is, y'all know that on Saturday I had an impromptu auction where I sold action figures. Ken Mullins, congratulations on buying the Ken and Lyle action figures. He won those. Another guy his name is Rick. I didn't have permission to have his last name, but Rick bought the Nick figure. Rick bought Nick. And I sold mine. I sold one of mine. Do you know how much it sold for, Anthony?
I don't know.
You don't remember what I told you?
No.
Okay. $500.
Jeez.
I didn't tell you that?
I don't remember you telling me that.
How much do you think Barton sold for?
I don't know, 300?
No, 400.
Jeez.
But these are figures, guys, that are prototypes. These are very rare. They're not like, you're not going to get one that's the same. And so we're going to try to set up a link to sell some of the extra ones we have, which we don't have a lot of. There's not a lot of these. And I also wanted to announce, I did talk to, and here's another person I talked to, at the end of the day, and then I got on the phone with Barton. And me and Barton and Nick Valente had a 3-way conversation. But before that, I was on the phone with Dana Holyfield. Unbelievable. So from Lauren Coleman all the way down, it was just one good person after another from this field. It was amazing. It was an amazing day to talk to all those people. I felt like I was at a conference. It was crazy. I was like overwhelmed. And blessed to have good people, good friends in my corner and that are my friends. So talk to Dana Holyfield. She is now going to be the next figure that's going to come out. I got her permission and everything. She's stoked. We're going to maybe make a Honey Island Swamp Monster figure. So, yeah. So she's going to be next. We have Jody Cook in the works, and we have her. And we got big news, like I said, that's going to come out after this. First, we're going to get this conversation going. We're going to try and get it going. So what I need to do, whose number did you send to who?
Because the easiest way to do it would probably just to have Ken call Barton.
Okay.
And then once he has Barton on the phone, then you can call Ken from Skype. And,
okay.
And Ken can merge the calls into a conference call, and then all 3 of y'all will be on the stream. So we just type Ken's number into Skype over here. Where's Skype at? Is it close?
I'm very confident that this will be a very...
we were able to do it easier last time because we used my phone, because my phone has an audio jack.
Why don't we just do that?
Because I'm moderating with it.
Oh, you can moderate with mine.
I don't have my phone. Plus, I would have to set up...
So what are we doing here with the Skype thing here? What do we do?
Okay, so you just type type Ken's number in there.
Okay.
It'll call his phone, and he's gonna get a call from a number that's not your number.
Okay, so he's waiting on you. So I just call. Do I just call right here?
No, you call him on Skype.
Yeah. I can actually see the numbers now. This is great. I just hate having to wear glasses. But it is what it is.
And then you got headphones.
Hello?
Hey, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, you're there, and is Barton with you?
I don't know. Are you there, Barton?
You might have
Barton.
to patch him through.
Okay, hold on. I think there were 2 answer buttons, and I might have pushed the wrong one. Can you call me back in a minute?
Yeah.
Hold on.
We'll get this going. So, folks, what we're going to do is I'm going to let Barton explain to you when he gets on the phone. Okay, he's going to explain to you what we're doing. There's a method to this madness, all right? This is controlled chaos, believe me. Barton says he's waiting on me. Barton, we're waiting on you. We were supposed to bring Elvira today. We didn't do that. God, these headphones mess up my hair. I came all dressed up like we was going to the nightclub, you know? Paranormal Round Table representing, yo. Where you can have fun and be entertained and be scared. You don't have to be chastised for it. Denise May said it's kind of reverbing. What does that mean with the sound? The sound is reverberating. Thanos Snap. I like that name. It's pretty cool. It says, "What did I miss? What we just talked a little bit about how my day went, and nothing, just conversation basically." DA, thanks for the donation. I appreciate that. You could donate some of your great books. Generation X fiddling with new technology. I understand too well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and call now. I think it's ready. I think it's this part, right? It's this one right here, isn't it? Because it changed.
You just typed his number in the same box as last time. Or
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Is that Ken's number?
Yep. So I just hit it right there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. See? Millennial tried to tell me the wrong thing. Yeah. See, I don't know how you sneaky millennials are.
Crazy kids in your Flickr boxes.
Hello?
Ken, I think we
Hello?
got. Is Barton on there with you?
I don't know. You there, Barton?
You gotta merge it into a conference call.
You got to merge it into a conference call. Do you know how to do a 3-way call?
No, I don't. I haven't had to do this
on your
yet.
phone where it says add call. Do you have that on there?
Let's see here. Contacts. No, I'm not seeing that. I'm looking at pause.
Because if you just call him, we could just do it from your phone, right?
I mean, I would have to set up that piece of equipment we use.
Oh, never mind. That's all. We're not gonna do all that. What we'll do here, we're just gonna have to figure it out. Like, what?
You can just call Barton and maybe Barton can merge it on his.
Yeah, maybe Barton can merge it onto his phone. But he says I'm talking to Ken on the phone right now. The problem is we're just not connecting it. That's the problem. Okay. Let's see. If there's a way. Because somebody said earlier about the Skype, you can't put 2 people. You can't do it like that. There's no way to. I don't know why they make it that way.
I mean, like you can't call two people from Skype, but if we're just calling Ken and Barton's on the phone on his end on a conference call, then technically we're just calling one person, but there's still two people there.
So here, do that. Ask Barton if he knows how to merge it together. We may just have to have you call Barton. There's got to be a way to merge it, Ken. Well, anyways, while we try to get this figured out, three-way call, what we got to do, and it's so ridiculous that the way Skype has it set up, and then if you don't do that or Google Hangouts or whatever, somebody said 2 phones, you can call 2 Skype users, but not phones.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I'm too loud. I'm too loud. Maybe if I talk like this, would you like it if I talk like this?
Or you know what? We might be able to call them both on Facebook Messenger. Messenger allows you to add people to a call.
Does it?
I think so.
Well, we should have done that to begin with. Let me try.
Yeah. No, it's just.
We will get this done, folks. Believe me, and then we'll start what we're gonna do.
Skype noises for the birds. I never like Skype.
Skype, yeah. I took 2 months to talk to a person for 2 hours because of the friggin' Skypes.
Don't make nothing easy. Okay, so I'll just call. We'll call Ken from Facebook Messenger.
Oh, there we go.
And then we'll see if it'll allow us to call Bart.
Go ahead.
From Facebook Messenger too. I thought we were able to do it that way last time.
I don't remember.
Get another call. What does that mean?
He's probably on the phone with Barton. They're probably having a call conversation, and I'm not part of it. Yeah, he's on the phone with Barton. So, oh man. Or give me my phone. I'll just do it through the speaker or something. Hey, Barton, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I don't know. If Ken calls you, can you patch it through?
Dude, we've been talking for 30 minutes. We've been both trying to do that. So let me add call now.
Okay.
I'll just add call. Merge.
Or we can just call Barton from Facebook.
Try it.
All right. Well, I mean, if he's still on the phone though, it's going to be.
Well, let me hang it up. Go ahead. Try calling him. Call him now. We're going to have a session with everybody and teach them how to do 3-way calling. This isn't another call. So I can get one on the phone, but not both. This is something really, this is crazy.
Here, just tell Barton that we're just going to do it on Facebook. Because they both have a Facebook. We can both, I mean, if they answer the Facebook call, then we can get it done. Otherwise, we'll just have to hold up your speaker.
I really think we should do it through your phone like we did before. That's the only way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Hey, Barton.
Yes, who do I have on the phone now?
Well, it's me, and we're going to try and do it on Facebook. Okay? But we need to... Okay.
Ken, can you hear us?
Okay, so...
It says I'm on a conference call with 2 people.
And it's not working. Let me call.
All right, Ken, so, Barton, so why don't you go ahead and hang up on that conference call, and then we're gonna call your Facebook Messenger. Can you answer your Facebook Messenger on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, let's do that. We'll try it again. It's like last week with the sound with Kenny Irish. Oh my gosh, folks, I'm so sorry about this. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just Just hang up. Just I don't have time for this. All right. Anyway.
Why did I answer?
I don't know, and I really need to do the show, so I need to get back to what I'm doing. Anyways, folks, we're having a hard time here getting people to get this coordinated. What we're trying to do, okay, and what I'm just going to tell you what we're doing is I'm selling a book. All right. I wanted Barton to come on and tell the how it works. We really needed to set it up so we could do a 3-way call, but it's not going to work. It's obviously not going to work. So we're just going to have to scratch it. Okay. And I really could explain to you what we were trying to do. Barton's calling me back. Hey man, hey, I'm gonna have to call you from the computer. That's what I need to do. Barton?
Yes.
I'm gonna call you from my computer, and that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, so my phone didn't even ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's something's weird's going on here, but we'll get it done. Let me call you.
Something's weird.
All right.
So I'll just hang up with you, right?
Yeah, just hang up. All right, so try calling him.
Okay.
Okay, Barton, I got you on there.
No, we can call.
All right.
We're gonna add another call, which is gonna be Ken. It pops right up, Ken, right there. Boom.
All right.
No, that's it. You just call him.
Why is it not?
He goes right. I think he goes right there. No, don't do that.
Yeah, Ken and I were just talking away. We thought somebody was calling us, right? We were talking about all kinds of stuff.
We'll get it going here. I'm just trying to. Well, they don't make it easy to do this. Why is it so difficult to do these things?
Yeah, so we've done this like 5 times already, but you had to use a different setup, right?
Ken tried calling me. Yeah, it was a different setup, but now.
Okay, it says it's ringing.
Ringing. Ken is ringing. Is Ken on the phone with you though, Barton? Because if he is, he needs to hang up with you and then.
No.
Okay. Well, it says it's ringing. We really should have set it up the way we did it last time. I don't know.
Okay, so I think they're both.
Hello?
Ken, are you there?
Looks like it.
I'm here.
Barton, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, we got it. Jeez, we got it.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the holy God. Here we go. So this is what we're talking about, folks. Gremlins, man, gremlins. And we've actually had. I'm going to tell you guys. There's been some weird stuff in the studio. I'm not joking. Me and Anthony were sitting in the studio, and we were talking over. We were going over some stories, reports, and we heard what sounded like. What would it sound like, Anthony? Like, to me, it sounded like popping. Like if somebody took like those little bubble wrap, and just went, and it was. We were about 4 feet apart, and it sounded like it was right in the middle of us. The weirdest. Wow. I don't know what that was. I don't know why that was, but we've been having some weird things in the studio lately. I think it's the subject matter, dude. It's just we talk about it, and then weird stuff happens.
Yeah, we've been having some weird stuff happen here too lately, Josh. A lot of weird noises.
Yeah, it is really
yeah,
weird.
I don't pay too much attention. Yeah.
So, what Ken has, folks, this is why we wanted to do it like this. I had a book, okay, and it was a very, very rare book. It was the first edition. Well, Barton, go ahead and you tell the people it's your book, so you tell the people.
Okay, first of all, I want to say hi to all the listeners out there listening tonight, and thank them for showing me such support and kindness. It's really been overwhelming. And you got a great thing going there with the PRT family, Josh, and just keep up the good work. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that take the time to buy my books or comment or something, on something that I've said or done. And every time you buy one of my books, it helps someone out. So thanks a lot for that. So the book we're talking about is the first edition in Humanoids, Real Encounters with Beings That Can't Exist, and it's a really rare book. It hasn't been published in 5 or 6 years, and will never be published in that format ever again. So I wrote the book in 2009, and I thought I did a pretty good job, and I started sending it out to the publishers, and every publisher sent me back a letter pretty quickly, the publishers, and saying, "Y'all, we love the book. We want to publish it. We'll give you so much amount of money to sign the contract, but you have to change the ending. We don't like the ending."
And you
And
finally
so
got it
every one I
published,
turned
right?
down. Yeah, I turned down every one of the publishers, and the manuscript set for a couple of years, and finally Nick Redfern, our buddy Nick Redfern, he said, "Bart, why don't you let me send the manuscript to my buddy John Downs over in Britain?" I said, "Okay, sure." So Nick Redfern sent him the manuscript, and Jonathan wrote me back pretty quickly and said, "We love the book, Bart. We want to publish it for sure." And I thought he was going to tell me to change the ending, but he never did. So that's how the book got published.
But what happened was, you want me to tell the story about that?
Yeah, well, what happened was it was number one on CFC Press for a couple of years there for the UK sales and the American sales, but it really didn't work out between me and John, and so I terminated the contract, and the book, wasn't published for a couple of years until I found this new publisher. So that first edition is really, really rare. And the reason that it's selling for it used to sell for like $5,000 per copy on Amazon.
He's
But
not
now
lying.
you can't buy the book for any price. You can't buy it for any price. And it's not because I'm such a great author. I don't want anyone to think that, or the book is so great. It's strictly because of the rarity of the book. So that's why it's so high and pricey.
So
I'd like to take the credit and think that it's because I'm a great author, but unfortunately, it's just a matter of rarity of an item.
And it is. It's a good book too. I love that book.
Can I interject something?
Thanks.
No, you can't. Anyway, like I was saying, go ahead, Ken. Go ahead. Ken, go ahead.
Ken, we'll talk after, okay?
Barton is so humble. Listen, if a book is rare, it doesn't mean it's worth anything if it's a crap book.
Yeah, that's right. It could be a rare piece of crap.
There could be a rare piece of crap that nobody wants. So a book has to be sought after and rare.
To
Those
begin
are the
with,
two dynamics that make it valuable. So I think Barton's being a little humble. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. I really do, buddy.
So I told Ken, and Barton can attest to this. I sold my book. How much did I get for it, Barton, for my book that I had of yours? Tell him. And it wasn't even in mint condition.
$3,000.
$3,000. $3,000.
That's just crazy.
It's crazy. Okay. Barton's hot right now. Barton's really hot. Have you ever seen somebody who's just really hot? He's really hot. So Barton came on the show, and I tell you what did it. When you kind of semi-retired and you came back, and we had the whole LBL thing going on every week. That was epic, and everybody loved it. I keep getting people constantly talking to me about that. So what happened was, I had that book, and I was talking about the book to Barton one night, and Barton goes, "That book is worth a ton of money." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Really? It's worth all that?" And I lost it. I lost it behind the bookshelf, and so I was screaming at the whole house, "Where's my book?" Main reason is because there's one story in there, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but when you guys are off the phone and everything, I'm going to tell y'all that story and how it pertains to something that happened to someone very close to me. And then I'll tell you all that story, but I'm not going to keep Ken and Barton here. Plus, we need to get some other people on the show after this. But let's get this started, okay? And we don't have to. The bidding don't have to be finished tonight. We can do it. It can go on until tomorrow, whatever. But I want to know what you would pay for that book, because here's the deal: we found out. Me and Barton did a little investigating by aggravating the heck out of our friends. We woke Ken up out of bed. We went to his house and we're like, Ken. We were looking in the windows and stuff, shining our flashlights, and Ken finally got up and we grabbed him. We said, "Where's the book? The book!" He thought we were talking about the Necronomicon that he was reading from earlier. I said, "No, not your rituals and stuff. The book that Barton wrote." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, okay, where? Which one?" I said, "The Inhumanoid." So we went over there, and turns out Ken Gerhardt has a copy of this book. Okay? He has one.
Really good shape.
It's in great shape. He made fun of my book. He's like, mine's in much better shape than yours. Oh, okay, whatever. Bottom line though is his is in good shape. Okay. Nick Redfern has one. I have one. Linda Godfrey. I don't know any other people who have one. Okay.
Lauren Coleman has one.
Lauren Coleman might have one. I should have asked him that today when I had him on the phone. Look, so here's the deal. I got mine through a book collector friend of mine that said, hey, because I bought all these guys' books back in the day. I would read them all voraciously. And I read that one, and there was one story in particular that really resonated with me. And I'll get to that later, like I said. But Barton wrote that book, and there was only a few hundred copies, whatever, that were made. But Ken's got one. Ken, is there any inscription in that book?
No. I had originally thought that Barton might have sent it to me, but Barton assures me that he would have signed it, which I would imagine he would have. So I'm thinking now that I got this copy back in 2011 directly from the CFZ because I've been associated with them for years and years, and so
I would
they
never
must have
send you
shipped
an
it.
unsigned copy. Yeah, I would never send you.
So
an
one of two
copy
things is happening.
of my book, Ken.
One of two things is happening here. Barton, you're lying. You sent it to him, or Ken,
absolutely not.
or Ken did get it from the CFC, which stands for Communist Friend Zone. But that's for another show.
There's another possibility, which is he signed it. He may have signed it in invisible ink. That's another possibility.
That can only be,
There's
a
code.
Read by the light of a full moon.
I don't have a black light here or whatever you need to see that.
So here's the deal. Me and Ken made a friendly no bet, like no money involved, that I couldn't sell my book for over $1,000. Was it $1,000, Ken? I don't remember what you said. You said you won't sell that book for $1,000, whatever. And I said, yes, I will. I'll sell for $1,000. And I got $3,000.
And that was no affront to Barton, by the way. I just, I've pretty good tabs on the value of different rare cryptozoology books, and I just hadn't done any research into that one. So I figured it was worth a lot, but 1,000 seemed a little high. But I guess you prove me. Is this where you're going to make me eat crow?
Well, I sent you the plate, and you said, "What is that? You're getting ready to eat a grackle?" So you know your birds. You know your birds. You work at a zoo part time, so you know your birds. Barton, when you come down to
his birds,
he does. When he come down to visit Barton, we're gonna just show up at the zoo and just be like, get drunk and show up. Hey, we're King Gerhard's friends. We're friends. And the Chupacabra exhibit. You do work at the zoo part time in San Antonio. I wouldn't do that to you, but that's where you work part time, right?
Well, I'm a volunteer educator there. That's true. I don't.
That's a cool job.
But don't get me kicked out of the zoo because I've been there for a few years and I really do enjoy it. It's taken me a while they'll actually let me do lectures on cryptids at the zoo, which is, if you know anything about zoos, they usually don't. It's taken years for me to get to that point. Yeah. So
great job. I've never heard any lecture at a zoo.
So we're going to have to destroy your career. Well, that sucks. Sorry about that, but it's the way it is. Just joking, folks. Everybody home, are you serious? Because I'm just kidding. All right, guys, you know how I am. Look, so here's what I want to do. I want to start the bidding. What is a reasonable starting point? I would say we start for this book at least $500. We could start it at $500. Is that too low? Should we start higher, Barton?
No, that's up to you, Josh.
I want
to. I'll tell everybody that I will sign the book. Ken can send me the book and I'll sign it, and Ken can sign it, and you can sign it. Everybody can sign that book, and it'll be like one of a kind.
It will absolutely be one of a kind. What we'll do is we'll have Ken, you, Barton, sign it, and then Ken can sign it. And then if y'all want me to sign it, I'll sign it too. I don't know why you would, but if you want me to sign it, I'll put it on there.
Oh, you're the great Josh Turner. That's why.
Well, the great Josh Turner. Yeah. And
right.
I could sign it. I believe Ken mentioned something about signing in his own blood. I'm not for sure if he's serious about that or not, but we will sign this book and we will be like, hey, we all, and from PRT and we did it on the live stream. And so you will get a book that we talked about. Somebody said, what book? Okay, Eric, if you're late to the party, the book is Inhumanoids, the first edition by Barton Nunley, and Ken Gerhard has a copy of it. And actually, so Redfern wasn't really interested in selling his. So, I mean, this is a rare opportunity. I just started haranguing Ken and said, dude, just sell the book, sell the book, sell it. And I wanted to do it on my show. And I wanted to prove that the people that somebody said $505 right there, 505 right there. So we already got 505, 505. We got 505. Okay. 505. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. Come on now. Let's get 1,000 up here, boys. Come on, guys. So we're gonna, and this money will go to Ken. Ken can do what he wants with it. I know something about.
I'll interject something there if it sweetens the pot. So at the end of this month, I am planning a Thunderbird expedition to northern Pennsylvania, to Potter County, where there have been decades of reports and accounts of monstrous Thunderbirds, and I've always wanted to go there. It's been on my bucket list. So this money is going to be invested in a Thunderbird expedition, if that makes a difference.
That's sweet. Yeah, not really.
Wow.
I'd rather you invested in something really cool, but whatever. Now that is cool, guys. You hear that? A Thunderbird expedition. That's what you're going to help take pay for is him to go look for Thunderbirds. That's awesome. And then Ken, you'll take lots of photos, right? And you'll post them. Oh yeah. I'm gonna videotape it and photograph it. Yeah, we'll document it. Cool. Put it on Paranormal Round Table group, and everybody can follow the adventure. So we got 505. Anybody else? Anybody want to throw in? Come on, guys. You can do more than that. I sold mine way less shape than his for 3,000. And mine wasn't signed by Barton either. I have to ship it off to Barton to be signed. He still hasn't returned it. So I think you better not be trying to cheat me, Barton. I'm just saying.
I sold it and put the money in the bank. And I'm gonna let it draw interest for a few months.
Was that the one that was on eBay recently? The Amazon or whatever? I saw that. So
I've never sold any book on Amazon ever.
So guys, we have $505. Who wants to go a little bit higher than that? Because I know that we should at least get at least $1,000. Come on, guys, this book is worth a lot. And if you don't, like I said, it doesn't have to be right now today. This show will be up once it gets posted. It'll go to the Paranormal Roundtable group, and then y'all can rewatch the show, and y'all can tell me, somebody says we're all broke. Kevin, speak for yourself. Not everybody is broke. Okay, so we got $505. Ken, let me ask you a question real quick while we're waiting on people to actually wake up.
Yes, sir.
We have made action figures of you. Okay.
Yes.
Are you aware
I'm honored.
And I'm honored that you allowed us to do it. Use your image. Everybody that's been let us do it or use your image. Here's the thing. Are you aware that I sold one of your action figures for $175?
What? Get out. Really?
Yeah. Saturday.
Nice.
Saturday night.
Wow. That's amazing.
$175. And it was a guy named Ken Mullins. He bought both the Ken, I hope you don't mind if I tell you who you are.
No.
Ken,
Ken Mullins.
Ken Mullins, yeah. He's a big fan of the show, and he's actually told a story on the show once. But Ken bought both you and Lyle for $350. He was going to give $375. I said, don't, just $350. And give a shout out to Ken Mullins, and then Ricky, who bought Nick's Redfern's action figure for $175. Because I told him that's what Ken had paid for that, and then I sold mine for $500. I wasn't going to sell it, folks, and we're going to have another one made to give away. We're going to do a giveaway, but if you really want one, we can work something out. But yeah, I was honored that somebody was willing to even pay that much. And then for Barton's was $400. But Barton, you have a super fan out there that likes you a lot. So
wow.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm honored. Really.
So one guy bought me and Lyle. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm, for $350 or $370.
Is he gonna like have those in a little battle scene? Like, is he gonna have like me and Lyle go 1-on-1, like in an arena, like a Thunderdome scenario, or is it? I'm just curious.
I don't know. You know what you could do, Ken, to sweeten the pot, like as you said, you could go down to the Mercado over there in San Antonio where you live and buy those little luchador rings. And you can pull your figures back on the rubber bands and make them. You go buy one; they're like $15. I played them when I was a kid all the time. and you pull the little monitos back and they bang into each other. You could do that with y'all's figures and see who wins. So
there you go.
There it is, 575. Because somebody had went up to 550. Now Nuno says 575. So we're moving.
Wow.
We're moving. We're gonna get this is good. And then Ken, this money will go to help fund Ken's expedition. Okay. So we just got to get it
Very
going.
cool.
Ken, you
what's
wrote
up,
about
Bart?
my Thunderbird sighting in your first book, Big Bird.
I did.
Did you know,
yes.
did you know
yeah,
that?
I did. I remember.
I didn't know if you knew it was me or not that saw that thing.
Yeah. That was the one Kentucky sighting that I had in that first book, Big Bird. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, it was a pteranodon, not a
typical
Thunderbird sighting, more like a prehistoric, pterodactyl.
There are two types. We have the pteranodon, the pterosaur type, and then people also describe the kind of raptor type with feathers. So that's it. Was that after a storm? Am I remember that?
Right, yeah, it was like 2 days after a tornado came through and killed people and ripped everything up, and it was just probably the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was probably about 5.5 feet tall if it was standing on the ground, and solid red, no feathers at all, just wrinkly red skin. Had a little bit of hair above each of its feet. The feet looked like eagles, and it was coming in for a landing. But what struck me as strangest thing was how long and skinny the wings were on this thing.
Okay, we got another one. We got another bid right there. Like Magos. I'm sorry if I don't say your name correctly. Live Mapagos, $600.
Wow.
So we got 600 there.
Thank you, Mapagos.
Nuno is at 615. So 615. Boy, Nuno's you're cutting it real. You're just like going like 615. You're not really. I appreciate the bids though. Don't get me wrong, but you're just eking it in there. We're kind of. That's crazy. Barton says Barton got the crazy Bigfoot story. Barton has an entire story of a Sasquatch type creature. I don't know if it's a Sasquatch, but it was a type of a creature that basically terrorized their family. It wasn't just like a Bigfoot crazy story. It was something that really terrorized their family. Let me tell you something, folks. On my Halloween show, I'm going to tell you 2 Sasquatch stories that are going to make the hair stand up on your neck. I'm not kidding. All right? I'm not joking. One, I literally up in Oregon, I slept at that roadside. I stopped there by the Columbia River. I slept there when I was a 17-year-old kid, and I just slept like a baby. Had no idea that could happen there. Had no idea, and it's just when the guy told me the story, nearly in tears. He was like, dude, this really happened to me. I'm not making this up. And when he told me what happened, I was like, I don't know what I would have done. It was a terrifying thing that happened to me. But we're going to talk about on Halloween, the Halloween episode, and I have a really terrifying dogman encounter story to tell you and a few other creepy things. So anyway, okay. So Mapagos is $630. So we're up at $630 now for that book. So Ken, you are on the trail this month. The entire month you're going to be doing like conferences, right? Like, what's your next one?
I will be in Fort Wayne, Indiana on October 16th and 17th at something called Dead Convention. So it's going to be featuring Danny Trejo from Machete and some different actors that have played Jason on Friday the 13th. And but there's also going to be some paranormal researchers there, I believe, some of the ghost hunter guys. And so that's my next event. And then that's really it as far as public events. I'm going to be doing a Bigfoot Round Table up in Spokane, Washington on October 20th, the anniversary of the Patterson-Gimlin film. And that'll be with Cliff Barrickman and Tom Seward, Native American Bigfoot investigator, and some others. So, but the event season's kind of wrapping down, or winding down, I should say, here in October. So,
yeah, and then after October, you guys, I wanted to announce something else too. Me and Ken and Lyle and Nick and Bart, hopefully we're going to be able to try to coordinate this. And now that we know we can do a multiple call, we could do it a lot easier. But we want to do a show, and we're going to do it. Somebody says I would pay $1,000 for that book. Well, there you go. You have $1,000. Who is this? Nancy Zocha. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your names. I'm sorry, ma'am. I really don't mean to mess up your name, but I can't pronounce the last name. Zocha? Nancy Zocha? You would pay $1,000 for the book. That's awesome. Is that $1,000 for sure? Or are you saying, because, I need to know if that's legit, I mean, not that I don't think it's legit. I just need to know, because you said you would pay. Are you bidding on it? So if so, then we've already hit 1,000. What's the lowest you would take for that, Ken?
Man, it's hard for me to put a value on it, really. I mean, it's
$1,000 now, right, Ken?
Well, I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty good in terms of the logistics of a Thunderbird expedition. I got to get my plane ticket.
That's a lot of gas money.
Yeah, well, I'll fly up there. Not on a Thunderbird, but
well, you should try to anyway.
Like Thundar the Barbarian, didn't he?
Try to book one.
Yeah, Nancy, that would be awesome. If I mean, this is a very rare and pristine copy of Barton's, very hard to find, almost impossible to find in Humanoids book, and it's been in my personal library, nestled within other books by Linda Godfrey, Nick Redfern, Lauren Coleman, and others, David Weatherly. So it's on the right shelf. It's been on the right shelf. So it's been in good company.
And I want everybody to know, Ken, I'll just say that my Thunderbird sighting is in the Inhumanoids. It's in there.
Awesome.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought so.
But if not, they can read about it in one of the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and your book about Thunderbirds, isn't it called Thunderbird, something like that? Sightings?
No, it's called Big Bird, Modern Sightings of Flying Monsters.
Yes.
In Texas, they call it the Big Bird. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually, that is probably your only book that I have not read. Because I think I only have one copy of it, because you didn't have very many copies. And so when I got those copies, I had somebody request them. There were two people back to back. And so I ended up with one copy, and it was signed. So I don't read the signed copies. So I do actually need to copy another one to read it. And,
all right. I got one put aside for you, brother.
That's awesome. And Ken was gracious enough to actually mention, I'm not gonna repeat it, but a title of a book that I want to write, and that I was like, thank you for offering that, because I was like, it sounds really good, but I didn't want to say anything. But you know what I'm talking about, Ken. I appreciate that. I don't want anybody to steal my title. So Nuno Lopez is 1,050. So we had 1,000. Now we're at 1,050.
Nice.
Because Nancy Zocha says, I would like that book. You can let me know how I pay. What you can do is we'll put a PayPal link on there, and you can send it, and then I'll send the money to I'll just give it to Ken. And Ken, you can ship it, whatever. What we're gonna have to do is, Ken, you're gonna have to ship it to me after you sign it, then I'll sign it, then I'll ship it to Barton, and then we'll get it signed, and then we'll send it out.
Also, I can personalize it to whoever wins the auction.
Oh, that would be awesome. Just
writing my name, I could write. Yeah, no problem. Anything to help out my friends. Ken's such a great guy, just like you, Josh, and Lyle, and Linda, and and Nick. We're all really good friends, and I'm all about helping my friends any way that I can. So,
this friend needs $30,000 to finish the action figure line. Just saying. No pressure from Barton, but if you want to help your friends,
I wish I had that.
Christmas is coming
I wish
too.
I had that
I'm just
kind
saying,
of money,
Christmas
brother.
is coming.
I know.
Yeah. All I would need is like $5,000 a piece, and we can get this done. But that's all right. Actually, I talked to somebody. Well, actually, I talked to somebody, and they said that we might be able to get it done a lot cheaper in Vietnam because the Mattel, they moved their factory to Vietnam, and it's better quality, and apparently that they can get it done cheaper. They're trying to outbid, with China, so you would be able to get it done in another place that would be a lot more efficient. We want to get these cryptids done. We want to get all these cryptids done, and there's only been a couple cryptid lines. I think the last one somebody sent me. I think it was I know who it was. It was David Weatherly, and he sent me this earlier, and I'll read it to you, and you can go and look at it. And it's called Creature Replica. Yeah, and him and Lyle both sent me this. And they only made, though, I think about 4 figures, if I'm correct. Nancy Zocha said 1,200. Okay. So Nancy has outbid. They've outbid you, Nuno and Mapagos. So Nancy is at 1,200.
All right. That's awesome.
So
maybe we can sweeten the pot some more. I've got 2, and I'm willing to part with 1, but I have a large 2016 Dogman Symposium T-shirt, brand new, never worn. That's an item I'd be willing to throw in as a freebie too. If someone can squeeze into a large, that's the only size I have. But.
Are you a large, Ken?
No.
Fantastic.
No. These were the shirts that were left over that we didn't sell at the Dogman Symposium in 2016. There were just a couple that were left. So
I'll have to look if I can say something here really quickly. Ken, I know in your book it was my sighting took place in 2001, but that was a typo. So it actually took place in 1998. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Geneva, Kentucky.
Oh no! Now
well,
I
when
need
you
to
write a book, there's going to be typos.
I got to republish the book now. Thanks, Barton.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just in the interest of,
I hate having inaccuracies in there. So okay. Well,
my publisher hates that too, and so I don't usually bother
Barton's
him
like,
with it.
Okay, I got to come clean. It was not. Yeah. It's wrong. Yeah, Ryan, my buddy here just said. Ryan
it happened in
said,
1998.
Okay. Creature Replica made a bunch of them. I got most of them. Still disappointed they never released a Wendigo figure. Ryan, how many did they make of the Creature Replica? I thought there was only 4 or 5. But anyways, so if you guys need to jump off, that's fine. If y'all want to go, but somebody says they'd pay $1 gazillion for the books, but I'm a broke truck driver. Come on, Clough. Chris, you and Phil Stern and what's his face are always making those memes of us all the time, making memes. You need to make a meme of the book of Barton, of the what's his face, Barton seeing the pteranodon, and have one of Ken on top of it, like swooping down. Do a meme of that.
Yeah,
I want to see it tomorrow, guys. Do it on the Josh Turner fan page. I want to see it tomorrow. You guys can do it. I know you can do it, Chris. I've seen some crazy stuff from you and Curtis. You and Curtis do some, and Phil. They're the Photoshop experts. They can make people look. Y'all could really do some stuff you wanted to. I've seen it. So it says
they
here,
do great stuff.
Keith Jackson says, at Ken Gerhard, thank you. I was West Virginia at the time. We had that same storm. There it was, large tornado. People in my area were seeing very large black bears. What is it? What are you referring to, Keith?
Oh, I think he's talking about when Barton's Thunderbird sighting. But I had said 2001, so it's 1998. Is that when Keith's storm came through?
Is that what? I don't know. I can't, Keith. You got to let us know.
But I have to say, I never would have saw that if it wasn't for the passenger in the vehicle who saw it first and pointed it out to me, and she thought it was a hang glider or an ultralight or something like that. So I want you to know that I wasn't seeing things, and most of my sightings have been in the presence of other people. So I know my mind wasn't playing tricks on me or anything like that. Plus, I don't go around hallucinating anything ever. She saw it out the window, and she said, look at this guy. Who does he think he is? A Red Baron or something flying over here? It's a hang glider. And I said, well, there's no hang gliders in the lowlands of Henderson, Kentucky, because there's no point high enough to take off from. And I kind of ignored her. She said something about it 3 or 4 times before I finally looked. I was driving on this gravel road, and like I said, the tornado had just come through a couple of days before. Limbs were down. The road was all messed up, so I was trying to concentrate on the road, but I just, I was going pretty slow, so I bent over and looked out her window, and there it was, and I recognized what it was immediately, and I was surprised she couldn't tell what it was. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's not a hang glider. It's a bird." And it had a wingspan of about 20 feet, long, thin wings. It's just, it struck me as those wings just don't look right,
You talked about that on the set we did together on the show, and
I did.
Yeah, we talked about it. You didn't have any feathers, right? It was just
no feathers at all. Yeah, just solid red, wrinkly skin. Wow. A little bit of hair above each foot. And yeah, it was crazy. Well, I was gonna pull the car over and run over across the field because it looked like it was coming for a landing in the treetops, but I kind of thought better because I didn't even have so much as a pocket knife with me, and this thing was pretty big. It probably could have tore me up, So I didn't run after it.
So, folks,
I always regret that. I'll always regret it. I should have ran after. Should have stopped the car and ran across that field and grabbed me a stick and found that dang bird.
Folks, what we're going to do right now, the auction is going to go on. We're going to let this go. A lot of people will watch this. I mean, if you look at the live streams, they get thousands of views. So we only have 240 something people in the chat, and we already we're up 1,200. So if you want to bid on the book, we'll go until Friday, after my show on Friday, and then I'll do like a little quick announcement, and whoever won, your name, your handle, whatever, and then we'll work it out where you send it to the PayPal, and then that's it. So we're at least at $1,200. So there you go. And Ken,
it is an impossible book to find.
Yep. And Josh Turner endorsed this transaction to Ken Gerhard. He's a little old guy, and he really needs your help. Poor little guy. Just Ken, what you need to do is sell your hat. Everybody's always telling you that, but I'm telling you.
I'll tell you. I don't think I would. Well, first of all, I have a tiny head, as you just kind of insinuated, so I don't know if it would fit anybody else.
I said you were a little guy. I didn't say you had a tiny head.
No, I do have a tiny, but I got a funny story about that, which was I was up in Washington State a couple months ago at a Bigfoot conference, and Bob Gimlin, everyone knows Bob Gimlin, who filmed the Bigfoot film back in 1967. Bob Gimlin came up to me and said, "Ken, I sure want that hat." And I said, "Bob, you are the only person in the world that I would give this hat to. If you're serious and you want this hat, I'll give it to you, man." But I told him, I said, "But my head is really tiny, so I don't know if it's going to fit you." But Gimlin can have it. But yeah, I don't think I would sell it other than that. So,
well, it's a part of who you are. It's funny because
monster hunters like their hats. You don't ever mess with the monster hunters' hats.
No, sir.
They're smart.
I have a hat that has a skull and bones on the front of it, a cowboy hat that I bought years and years ago, and I was wearing it around for a little while. And right around the time that I started doing the podcasting, I quit wearing it because I was like, Ken and Lyle already have that hat, and now Barton, he wears a hat. They all kind of wear a cowboy style hat, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing that because then I look like. So literally, y'all made me stop wearing it. I was just like, because I didn't want to look like I was posing. Man. I was like, because I'm not, I'm like Ken and Lyle.
Posing.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a poser like Kiss, like you and Lyle's favorite band, Kiss.
Well, you have
Kiss
a nice
was badass, Josh. I mean, come on. You're too young to realize how great a band Kiss was.
I know you and Lyle told me for an hour how great they were. Yeah. All right, Ken, I know you got to run, and I know you got to run to Barton, and I'm going to let y'all go.
Yes.
Coming up next, we got D.A. Roberts, who's already in the house. And thank you, Ken. I told you we could do it. We could get it done. You have little faith, but Yep.
No, I'm impressed, Josh. This is as impressive as when I called the score the other night on that game. So, I mean, within 2 points, but
that was kind of luck, though, don't you think? I think it was
no,
luck. Yeah.
I don't think. But go Packers, anyways.
Pretty
So
sure that was luck, but I congratulated on that. And then you still have not eaten your you haven't finished your grackle, our hidden crema that me and Charlie and Barton put by your. We didn't finish the grackle. You still have the legs. We did use the wings. We did use the wings to make the Mothman character. Okay.
Oh well, it's okay. I'll grill it up, man.
Yeah,
It'll
get
taste like
done.
a quail or something, I'm sure.
Because you got to eat that crow. Because I sold mine for $3,000, folks. You bought mine for $3,000. You got to. Ken's is in better shape, and you're going to get an autograph from 3 different people. If you bought mine, and I appreciate it. Then you bought mine, whatever. But you're only going to get the autograph from 2 different people. Whereas this one, you'll get it 3 people, and it's much better shape. Okay. Although mine does have a cool story. Right. It fell behind a bookshelf for a long time. I guess that's kind of a cool story. But anyway, I'm going to let you go, Ken. You run and do what you got to do. Fly away, Thunderbirds. All right, guys? And,
all right. Hey, thanks for having me on, brother. Barton, great talking to you always, man. And
always great talking to you too, brother.
Absolutely, man. We'll catch up real soon. Thanks to everybody that was that's listening in. So have a good night, all.
All right.
Yep.
Take it easy.
Okay, you too.
All righty. Bye.
All right, bye. So, folks, that was my friends Barton and Ken. Yeah, and Gary said it's a first edition Inhumanoid book by Barton Nunley. The highest bid we got was $1,200. So we'll see what happens. Let me take these headphones off. You can't see my ears, and it makes my head look fatter, So it's bad enough as it is. So what do you want to talk about real quick? Because I got a couple guys coming on the line, and we got to talk about some stuff. We got some other things happening. We got some things going on in the cryptid world, in the Dogman world. I'll take these off for a minute, about a minute here, and let my eyes rest. We are going to be doing a show for you, the fans. It's going to be me, Ken, Lyle, Nick, and Barton. And we're going to talk Dogman and Bigfoot, metaphysical, physical. What do y'all think of that? Y'all let me know what you think of that. And I talked to Dana Holyfield today, and she's on board. We got her coming out as an action figure too. Every 3rd figure that we make of these different researchers / authors is going to be a giveaway. Now, if you want one, you can bid on one, you can buy one, and we'll autograph it and send it to you if you want one. I sold mine, like I said, I'm not bragging, but I'm kind of a big deal. Just kidding, I'm not. But somebody was nice enough to take mercy on me, and they go, "This guy looks poor. Like, he looks really poor. Like, he's on his show, and he's like very poor." So they were nice enough to give me $500 for it, but whatever. So let me put my falling down glasses over here for a minute. I'm going to bring someone else on the show. And he's going to come on and we're going to talk. This guy's an author, and he's a really cool guy. Besides being an author, he's a cool guy. He's a good guy. And, I like his work, and I can't say enough good stuff about him. Let me get him on the show here. Let me see if he's ready to go. Let me message him. I messaged him earlier. Let's see if he's good to go on the show here.
You can do it on Facebook too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can do it with Skype too. Yeah. So let me get on those. Stick with what works. And we're going to get him on here. Do me a favor, message Valente, see if he's paying attention. Doesn't matter either one. Let's call this individual. Headphones are on backwards, man. Ain't that there, boy? You got them headphones on backwards over there? Over there, you don't wear the headphones backwards like you do. You stupid, boy. I'm gonna beat you up, boy. So let's get this call going here.
Hello?
Hey, DA, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. I'm calling in reference to your extended warranty, your vehicle warranty. Have you messing with you. They put my glasses on so I can read. So have you, but just for the audience's sake, have you renewed your vehicle warranty?
No, I have not.
You have not?
I have not.
Okay.
I have ducked a few of those calls, though.
Dude, now that they come up as spam, it's like awesome. It's like, oh wow, you don't even have to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, sometimes the phone tells you something spam, and that had happened once. It's happened, but it wasn't. It says I like biscuits and mustard. Overbuilt automotive. Are you talking about Sling Blade?
I like me some mustard and biscuits.
Did you happen to catch the auction we just did?
Yes, I did. I've been listening since the beginning.
Okay, what do you think of that? It's crazy.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I did the auction on Friday, and I just started talking, and I sold a bunch of figures. It wasn't hard. It was just like boom.
Those figures are awesome. Hello?
Yeah. I was just reading what my moderator had said. He's telling Matt. He said if you bid, you could own a copy autographed by Barton Nunley, Ken Garrett, and Wolf. I won't autograph it as Wolf unless you want me to put it in like quotations Wolf. But so, anyways, do you want to wait for our friend Nick, or do you want to go ahead and start talking because we have a lot to talk about?
It's your house, sir. Whatever you'd like to do.
Okay, Nick just messaged said he's going to be a few minutes. So here's what I want to tell you. Folks, if you don't know who D.A. Roberts is, okay, he is now the new head of the NADP region, Midwest region. He's the Midwest regional director. He accepted the position today, right, D.A.?
Yes, sir.
Yep, and we had spoken about it yesterday, and we were kind of thinking it was going to happen, but now he is the official director of the NADP of the Midwest, and that's awesome. Congratulations to that, because that's an organization that I work with sometimes. I am not a member. I am not a member, but I do. We do share information, and we do talk, and that opens up a lot of doors because it was kind of closed off for a while, and now you're going to be up there, and I'm good friends with you and Jody and Nick, and I'm glad to see you taking care of business up there. And hope you can get everything straight. What are your designs on what are your plans? Are you going to start a new group, or how are you going to do that? Are we going to have to build a new group there, or?
Probably, since transferring ownership of a Facebook page is kind of a complicated process, and it would probably be easier for her to just change the name of the current group and let me build from scratch, because I don't intend to make it a closed group. I'm going to make it an open group. And I also want to reach out to some people that I know that not only in the cryptid community, but in the horror community, because I'm an author as well. And I want to get people involved that not just want to do the field research, but like the stories. And I think that's going to encourage a lot more open dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that's what was lacking. That's what was needed, because I could reach out to any region but that one. And it was like, okay, there was some bad leadership there. I'm not afraid to say it. And but it was corrected. Mr. Jody Cook, he corrected it, and I think it's commendable. I'm glad him and Nick took care of it, and y'all are going to move forward. The thing is, you are an author.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to tell the audience exactly what you do. This is really cool, folks.
Well, I've been into cryptids since the mid 70s. when I first started watching the insert shows with Leonard Nimoy and some of the others, and so I've been into researching cryptids for a long time. And what I did was I took those accounts and encounters that I've not only taken firsthand and some of my own personal experiences, as well as accounts that I've read or listened to on shows like yours or even some of the other shows. And I've learned from those accounts. So I've based the behaviors of the cryptids that I placed in the books on the behaviors of these stories. So a lot of actual real cryptid research goes into creating these fictional books. I have 23 currently in print. I have 5 series that are cryptid related. I have a series that's zombie related, and that series is a 10-book series, and it's wrapped up. And I have a sci-fi series, and I should soon be debuting a fantasy series as well.
What got you started, like in just being your interest was just in cryptids? So you just thought I'm going to write books about it, or?
Well, originally no. I've always been a horror fan. Since I was a kid, about that same time that I got interested in cryptids, my mother got me addicted to Kolchak the Night Stalker, which really kind of fueled my love of horror. In fact, when I go out and do film and go out and into the field, I have a Kolchak the Night Stalker hat. It's an actual reproduction of his hat that I wear when I'm out and about. So I draw my inspirations on that, and my focus at being a writer is more on the stories. I'm not going to be the guy that goes out and drags proof in, and I don't intend to. If I capture something on film, that is fantastic, and I'll share it with everybody. But I'm not going out there just to try to be the guy that drags in proof. I want to collect stories, and a lot of the Ozarks folklore from the area I grew up is it's a dying tradition, and I've managed to collect quite a few stories, especially about like the Ozarks Howler and some of the other legends around the Ozarks that just you rarely hear about anymore. And I try to reflect those in my writing, as well as some of the short stories I've written are specifically about tales that I've heard here in the Ozarks.
That's awesome. I was thinking about your books, and now each one of your books, not each one. You have like you have a series of them, right? Like they go in order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Explain that.
Yeah, the series, I wanted to do something that told a much bigger story. So all of these series actually intertwine. You'll see characters from one series and another series, and they move around like that. And bits and pieces of the background of these characters may be revealed in a series they're not actually the star in. You learn a lot of details about these characters in the other stories, the other series. For example, the series that started all the cryptids is called Apex Predator. The first book is Wolf Moon. The main character in that, William Grey Eagle, eventually wound up going back to the military and wound up in a book series I've got that's called Codename Wild Hunt, which is about a tier 1 military group that goes out and hunts cryptids that are preying on people.
And let me ask you a question, and this is be honest here, okay?
Okay.
Do you think that cryptids prey on people? I mean, I know it's fiction that you write, and that's really cool. You take like these cryptids, these real stories that you told me. We talked the other night for a while, and you told me how you research them, and you actually write stories based upon these cryptid encounters that people have, like real encounters.
Very much so.
Yeah, and so, do you believe that they actually prey on people?
Yes, I do. I mean, if you study the missing 411 cases, there are just so many people that go missing, in particular in national parks. A good chunk of those can probably be explained by animal predation, but there's some of them you just can't explain any other way. People that were there 1 second are gone the next. And I personally, grew up hunting the woods, stomping around the woods of the Ozarks. I've been hunting out west. I grew up hunting. My family, that's kind of a tradition, hunting and fishing. But I've seen animal kills. There's a sign. There will always be a sign. And in some of these cases, some of these missing 411 cases, they vanish and not even tracking dogs will follow it.
Yeah, and he is right about that. There always is a sign. Like one time I was looking for a particular cryptid, and there was a big neon flashing sign. It said "Big Bad Wolf this way," and it was a big arrow, and I followed it, and I found it. It was just a mirror. Okay, all right, I'm joking, but you get what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I want you and Nick to tell a little kind of a story, here, and I'm going to bring Nick on. Let me see if I can get this done without, I'm gonna bring Nick on.
Okay.
And Nick Valente. So let's see here. He's right there. He pops right up. People I talk to all the time, just right there. Right there by Kenny Irish, another great author, and Charlie, the artist. So let's get this done here. Oh, what happened? It went away. I hit that right there, and then we
just hit,
enter. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird how you got to do it. You got to hit that and then that. There's like a little art to it here. There we go.
It's ringing for him.
There it is. Nick, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, you got visual too on here for me.
Yeah, you got the whole enchilada.
Yeah. So the people can't see you, but if you know Nick Valente, he's a great guy. He's trapped in the state of New Jersey, but other than that, he's a great guy. I feel bad for him. I'm always worried about him, dude, because of all the stuff that goes on over there, dude. Mainly the pollution.
The pollution.
We
haven't had pollution here in 30 years.
30 years?
The factories are all gone. Yeah, they're all gone.
Well, it can take lots and lots of time to get rid of it. So let me ask you guys a question. I wanted to tell the audience, you guys told me, well, not you, DA, but Nick, you told me a story about when you went to the LBL.
Right.
Okay. So you went through the LBL, and what happened when you went to the LBL?
Well, DA was there with me. I mean, I don't know if he told you about that. And,
you told me how scared you were. Like you were like hiding in the bag, and he had to get out and drag you out like by your legs.
I was hiding behind him, actually.
I told D, I was like, yeah, I know, dude. Nick's like so scared of everything, dude. Like he calls me all the time. He's like, I was gonna buy this Reuben sandwich. Should I? I don't know. I don't want to get sick. It's botulism. And I was like, dude, it's fine. Just eat it.
I think the only thing the two of us were really truly frightened of is we were at the Nickel Cemetery in the middle of the night. As soon as you turned on your light, you were just swarmed by these clouds of bugs.
Mosquitoes. Like bugs?
Mosquito dactyls. You can see the running lights on their tails.
They were so large they could carry away a small dog. I am telling you. And I mean, they just engulfed us in your mouth, up your nose, every place.
Yeah.
Couldn't use.
I must have swallowed a dozen of them.
I had some big spotlights and I couldn't even use them. I mean, they were just swarming.
Well, I was told by the Hendersons, and now God rest his soul, Johnny Henderson, and Elijah, his son, who's still with us. But they told us that it was just the worst was the ticks. I mean, they're just everywhere. And Barton confirmed that. He was just like, dude, I go down there, and the ticks they get all over you. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. It's a nightmare.
Well, I tried this amazing bug spray that basically repels everything.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to prepare for that. I already knew we were going to get hit by that. So when we got out, I sprayed DA's cuffs, on his pants, his arms, his neck, face, everything. I already pre-sprayed myself and gave myself a few more shots, but it didn't matter. These things were just, as soon as you put on a light, they would swarm you. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't stay. They wouldn't stick. But they, it was pretty good. We didn't get any ticks. I know that. I checked myself after we got home that, went back to the hotels and everything. He went to his, I went to mine. Nothing, no ticks.
You're fortunate, that's for sure, because that's a big one that people say. Now, what I wanted to ask you about though is when you guys were there in one spot, you, Nick, told me that you had that was weird. The door just opened by itself. I kid you not. Okay. That's freaked me out. So anyways, Nick, you told me that you got out of your vehicle And you couldn't hear anything. There was no sound, like no animals, nothing.
That's correct. Zero sound. I mean, no bugs either. You couldn't hear crickets. You couldn't hear frogs. You couldn't. I mean, normally you would hear some kind of life, but there was nothing. It was dead silent. And DA can bear me on this one here. We took my Hummer into LBL, and as soon as we went in there, we actually felt the depression of the area. I mean, it was just like crushing down on you. It just felt.
Yeah, it had a kind of a weird, oppressive feeling to it.
Yes, very, very much so oppressive.
Okay, so that's the question right there. That's the and I did a set last night with Jody. We recorded a show last night, me and Jody Cook, and then we talked for a while before and after, and I think it's gonna be a great show. When I drop that one, it's gonna be a great show. Nick, we did a set too, and we talked about this too. That right there to me, that it of course it kind of takes as a predator in the area. Okay, that tells you there's something predatory there. Everything is quiet. Okay, but when you said that the feeling you got was oppressive and it felt like there was something. I mean, that's to me is supernatural. I don't understand how people can't grasp that. Because when I was 15 and I saw what I saw, I felt like it was very oppressive. I felt like I was dealing with something that was very evil. I mean, it didn't just look evil. It wasn't just an aberration. And I don't mean, I always have to explain this, not an apparition, but an aberration, something you don't see everyday aberration. But I felt like there was something evil coming off of it, like an evil emanating from it. The guy that was my buddy that was with me that night, same thing. He said he's never changed his story in 30 years. Neither have I. He told my wife. He's told all my family the story, and we've told it from both of our perspectives, and nothing's changed. We did feel like it was evil, and he's a preacher now, actually, and so he says that he believes that we saw something demonic. For years, I thought, well, maybe it was physical because it manipulated the fence. You could hear it. But it still felt, it gave off the feeling of evil. I've been really close to large animals like big cats and bears. I didn't get the feeling, oh, this is an evil animal. It was just apex predator, but it wasn't like it was evil, like some kind of evil coming off of it. I felt like this thing was making me ill being around it. Like it was like, not like I'm going to physically get ill, but like just like my mind was just, it was doing something, you know what I mean? Something evil.
Yeah. Well, I can agree with you about that. There's a difference between a predator that and an evil that you feel. The infrasound coming off of a tiger, for example. I went to this one zoo in Washington, D.C., and there was this tiger there that was an anomaly. He was about 950 pounds. His paws were, God, twice the size of my hands, or the size of one of your hands, Josh.
No.
And when
I don't have real big hands.
He came over. Well, you know what they say about that. Anyway, when he came over to the side of the cage and looked at us, he let out a throaty growl, and you could feel the infrasound. I mean, you could feel it. He was saying, "I'm here. You dare come in here." That's the end of that. I mean, you could feel it. When we were there, you have to understand the canopy above us was so thick. When I shined, I had a 4 million lumen spotlight. When I shined that up just to test it out, it like died. It like died in the darkness up there. I mean, I could feel it. I mean, to me, I didn't feel an evil presence, but I did feel something out there. And I don't know if DA heard it, but when I was looking at that stanchion that had a box and it had an American flag in it, off to my right and inside the bushed area and trees, I mean, everything was bundled together there. I heard a throaty growl. And I've only heard that type of a throaty growl, coming, just from the top of the chest once before. And that was in Watchung. And I was like, what the heck is this? And when we were there the next day during the daytime, the same thing. So I'm just wondering what the heck it could be. And I don't think it was an evil presence. And if it was, I would point, maybe not Dogman, but maybe a skinwalker of some sort, maybe a shape changer of some sort. But I don't know. Like, if that northern area in Kentucky of LBL is the area where Dogman is. Going down south into Tennessee, that's more Sasquatchville. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I can test.
Do you agree with that, DA? Do you think that he's right?
DA, do you think that he's right?
Yeah, we're getting an echo somewhere.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Repeat. I agree with that because when we were traveling there from Missouri, along the highways, you always see roadkill, and sometimes you'll see animals crossing the road because I traveled down a lot of the roads were like 2-lane blacktops. So anyway, all along the way to LBL, we would see dead animals, and where we stayed was in Grand Rivers, which is just across the canal from LBL. And at our resort in Grand Rivers, you would see deer and squirrels and the usual animals that you would see in the woods all around the place. And I spent 4 days and 3 nights in LBL stomping around. As soon as you would cross the canal bridge into LBL, that was it. You wouldn't see another animal until you left. In 4 days and 3 nights running around LBL, I never saw one single animal.
That's not. Yeah, that's
He's
really
right. There was
weird.
nothing.
That's the part that really creeped me out. I grew up deer hunting, and I know if you sit somewhere quietly, you're going to see squirrels, you're going to see groundhogs, you're going to see chipmunks, and eventually you might see deer, especially in a heavily wooded area with plenty of foliage for them to eat. Never saw one, not one. Heard plenty of insects, an occasional bird, but for the most part, no birds.
That's crazy.
You know what I was observing also while we were over there? I was observing the foliage and if there was any like nibble marks on it. Because like around here where I am, we have a lot of deer. And when they eat the grass or they'll eat the leaves or the trees that are around here, they leave bite marks. And there was nothing. I couldn't see a darn thing over there. I mean, nothing was eating anything. So there was just no deer over there. And I don't know what if there is a cryptid in there running around, or cryptids or families of them. What are they actually eating? Because there's no deer that I can see.
That is crazy. And then, like, okay, for you, DA, let me ask you this question: if you had to put your finger on this phenomenon, leaning one way or the other, what would you say it is?
It has to be some type of predator. It has to be a large predator, something big enough to be a threat to deer. And I talked to some of the locals. Now, just across the bay, across the canal in Grand Rivers, I was actually asked to leave a store for bringing up Dogman. They didn't want to talk about it. They claimed they never heard of it. Nothing. But when we ended up having to leave we only had our resort booked for so many days. We decided to stay another day. We stayed in Paducah. And in Paducah, Kentucky, everybody wanted to talk about it. They'd all heard the stories. And they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I know this happened here. I know another sighting that happened over here. But in Grand Rivers, right there where they make all their money off the tourist trade, they pretended it never even happened.
Yeah. Now, when I went across the street from the hotel I was staying at while we were there, I saw 2 fellows in hunting gear, and I approached them and I asked them that question. And they kind of put me off, but the one thing they did say before leaving, they were at a gas station gassing up, and before they left, they both said to me, don't go into LBL at nighttime. Now, I want to say to you, and I know DA and I discussed this, I want to go back and I actually want to camp there during a time where there's not so many bugs that you can't see. I would say more like November if it's colder, because that's when you're probably going to find something.
Yeah, I would agree. And also a lot less bugs.
All I remember about the conversation that I had with you, Nick, was you talking about what a big chicken DA was, that he wouldn't get out of the vehicle. And then when I asked DA, DA said, that's not true. I had to get out, and then Nick got in the back and locked the doors and was covered up in a blanket down on the floorboard, and I was like, "What? Wow!" And then you were like banging on, and he wouldn't let you in. That's all I remember. So there's two different stories here. I don't know whose is true. I don't know whose is false. I can't. I'm not. I just know what was told to me. That's it.
The YouTube channel, my YouTube channel has the entire video put together, all the short videos I shot while in LBL, and there's a lot of footage of me and Nick in the park, and a lot of it at night. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can find that video.
Yeah, and I want to answer somebody here that said something in the audience, and Joshua Solares Jones, and I don't have a problem with you, Josh. I don't know you, but you said, but the bugs were not silent. If you watch the video on DA's channel, the bugs were extremely loud. Well, he made, like he just said, he put together a bunch of videos, and so at one point they weren't loud. Okay, so when you watch the video, maybe at that point they were. It just depends on where they were at and when they put the video. Is that correct, guys?
We at one point during the day when I was at the Nickel Cemetery, you could hear birds in the background, but it was just that one time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I would say that when I go up there with you guys, and we'll probably have to meet up with Barton, and nothing is going to make any noise at all ever because I'm going to be there. That's it. I mean, that's kind of the story.
The biggest predator in the woods.
I'm just going to show up, and then when the Bigfoot comes, I'll be the first one up the tree. I'm not going to lie. I am big, but I can climb. I'm strong. I'm just joking, dude. I actually, it's really weird because I got mixed emotions. I used to say all the time, very adamantly, I will not go out in the field, Then went to the Hernandez Ranch, and I was like, this is scary. And then if it's at night, it's even scarier. You got to be careful what you do, where you go. There's areas here in Texas, I tell you right now, there are people that will tell you 100% do not go out at night, do these places, just do not do it. There are people that will tell you there are certain areas that just you can't. I mean, there's stuff out there that it moves around. Now, I really believe, and this is what me and Jody were talking about, and when that show airs, you guys will hear it from the podcast on Fridays, the Fridays show, not this Friday, but later. We have a similar theory about the hollow earth. And where you're at in Kentucky, you're on top of a big cave system, dude. It's all up underneath there. Mammoth Cave. It's just underneath it.
Runs for hundreds of miles.
Hundreds of miles. And there's no way to know.
They barely scratch the surface exploring it.
Mm-hmm. So I think that there is some serious stuff going on, and I mean, I for one believe that the flesh and blood entities that come up, they're coming up from they're from the inner earth. I really believe that. That's just been my theory for a long, long time, and I don't know what you guys think.
I think you may be onto something with that, because if you look at the missing 411 clusters of disappearances, those clusters correspond to major cave systems.
Yeah,
major cave systems is right. No, I agree with you completely on that, because they have to have some place to stay, during the daytime. They hunt at nighttime. That's my theory.
You guys kind of talked over each other. What was that again?
Sorry about that.
I was saying my theory is that they hunt at nighttime, which is one of the big reasons you don't usually see dogmen or Sasquatch during the daytime. During the daytime, they're resting, they're sleeping, whatever. They're eating, they're preparing, they're with their families.
And you think that the Dogman and Bigfoot are... Do you think they're both nocturnal?
I think they come out at night.
I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think Dogman is more nocturnal than Bigfoot, because there are a lot of sightings of Bigfoot in broad daylight. But I think Dogman is more nocturnal, because it seems to be far more active at night.
Absolutely agree. That's what I found in all the research I've done.
Nick, your encounter was at night.
99% of the time you see them during, there's encounters during the nighttime.
What is this people talking about? I'm under a spell. What are you talking about, people? I don't know what these people in the chat room are talking about. I'm under a spell. What spell? What do you... It says Josh is not under a spell for wearing jewelry. He said, well, what? What in the heck is that? I just looked up and saw that in the chat, and I'm like, James Estrada says, I believe in the hollow earth theory 1000%. Giants, Nephilim, live in the inner earth. Kandahar giant comes to mind. Yeah, and me and Jody touched on that briefly yesterday, or when we were recording. I think it's going to be a really good show. And I think that when we air that show, it's going to be a big hit. And hopefully the people will listen, and there's going to be a 2-parter, and they don't just watch the first part and then not listen to the second part, because it drives me nuts when they do that.
Yeah.
It really aggravates me because.
Hey, Josh,
go ahead.
Did you make an announcement yet?
Yes, I did. Absolutely. That he is now the Midwest director of the NADP, and I was very happy for that, because it was kind of stifling the way things were, and I'm glad that decision was made. Like I said, I'm not in the NADP, but I do work closely with you guys at times, and I just would like to be able to work with everyone the same, One of the things that Jody and me, we did not get to touch on, and he's going to have to come back at some point, and I was going to say we should all maybe do a roundtable on this one, but I believe, because I did a show called Celestial Bigfoot, and it talks about how there are reports of Bigfoots tied in with UFOs. Not a lot. There's not a whole bunch of them, but that does happen. And Barton actually touches on that a little bit in one of his books, in Humanoids, actually. And so it is weird when you get reports of these things. So what is your opinion on that, DA? Because I know you're the fiction writer guy. Have you thought about writing anything about that? Maybe like a Bigfoot crash lands on Earth and has to fight packs of dogman and solicitors for, car warranties?
Yeah, I have put some thought into that. Me personally, I think that if and we know for a fact that we're being visited by other planets. Even the U.S. Navy is declassifying reports of UFOs, or what do they call them now, UAWs. We know for a fact that we're seeing unidentified flying objects. So if aliens are coming here from, across stellar distances to Earth, they're here to study. And if there's more than one bipedal animal on this planet, they're going to study all of them. And I think that would be why they're seeing near Bigfoot sightings, because they were watching them as well.
Yeah. What do you think,
I think
Nick?
they probably find the big hairy things a little tougher to probe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking that myself. Well, as you know, I had spoken to you, Josh, and DA also about a 6-month research project that I had, interviewing people, going to personal ones over the phone, doing research just in newspapers and in books. And at the time, I stopped short of the 400 mark, but now I'm over the 600 mark, because even though 6 months went by, I just continued doing it on my own. And I found out, like I advised you guys, a lot of the people that have had encounters with Dogman and Sasquatch, before, after, or both before and after, they've seen white spheres or light type spheres in the sky, before the encounter and after the encounter, or just sometimes just after the encounter. To me, I like to be able to think outside the box and say, hey, you never know. Dogman, Sasquatch, they could have been put down here by extraterrestrials, as the forward researchers out there, seeing what we have, seeing what our defenses are, or to see if what our atmosphere is, our food,
Sure.
What they can get,
Sure.
and collecting things like that. I mean, I believe I'm just a little bit over 650 reports of speaking to people and reading about stuff like that that's happened. And 92%, that's the percentage of the time that someone reports seeing some sort of light in the sky. And to me, some sort of a light in the sky can mean it was an extraterrestrial vehicle.
No. See,
maybe they dropped them off.
No. See that.
There's an echo there real bad. I don't know if somebody's too. Here's what I think about that now. What I said about earlier about the celestial Bigfoot. Now, I believe that there are a lot of reports but not seeing aircraft, okay, but seeing lights, like what you're saying. To me, 2 different things, but it could be the same. But you're getting different reports. Like when people see balls of light, Bigfoot and Dogman, very common. That is very common. Now, actually seeing some sort of craft, not as common. That's not that, because what I said earlier about that, there's not a whole lot of them. What I meant was there's not a whole lot of reports of people seeing like flying craft and then seeing a Bigfoot or a Dogman, but people do see balls of light. Very, very, very common, very often in association with these creatures. And now, what you said about DA about people can that they have released the information about UFOs and whatever. Yes and no. You can get those You can get them those papers, but it's redacted.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's like, okay, redacted. Yes,
they're never going to come completely clean on anything.
No. Yeah, that's not. So you can't get any. It's crazy, dude. I mean, but so gentlemen, I enjoyed having you guys on. I'm gonna move along here. It's gonna be good when we all get together and we talk. And DA, tell us the names of your books. You're gonna be sending me some books, and I'm gonna be giving some away.
Well, I'm sending the first book in each of several series. You're getting the first book of the Apex Predator series. It's called Wolf Moon. The first book of the Lakeview Man series. It's just entitled The Lakeview Man. The first book of the Ragnarok Rising Saga, which is my zombie series. The first book of the Codename Wild Hunt series, which is Codename Wild Hunt Odin's Call. And then the first book of the Nightmare Hunter series. So you'll be getting 2 copies of each of all 5 of those.
And one copy I'm going to keep for my personal collection, and then the other one I'm going to give away on the show. And me and DA are going to do a set together. We're going to do some talking. So I appreciate you guys coming on. DA, congratulations on being the Midwest director, and I couldn't be happier for you. You deserve it, and I'm glad that you were able to. What was that, Nick?
I said, before you go, I wanted to officially welcome D.A. Roberts as the North American Dogman Project Region 2 Director, coming from the North American Dogman Project Region 3 Director. We're right next to each other, and I'm quite sure a lot of great things are going to come from it, our collaboration.
I agree, sir.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Yeah, and then, of course, one day, we'll all get together, and we're going to go. Now, here's another thing, folks. I want to throw this out real quick before you guys go. Kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Nick and DA are trying to do something that me and Ken Gerhard were trying to do last year when COVID hit, and me and Ken just kind of threw our hands up because we couldn't do anything. But we did have people that were willing to do it with us to go there. But we want to do a Dogman conference. Now, that's something that David Weatherly told me today. Okay? And I'm not just saying these people's names and those people's names because, I'm not trying to generate hype or anything. These are my friends. I talk to these people all the time. Okay? But Dave Wedley called me today, and he said, you need to do a conference. We need to put together a conference, and the Dogman conference.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
And awesome. So, Weatherly's on board. If Linda's health gets better, maybe we get her on board, and she won't be frozen out like she was at this last conference that never should have happened, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I'm not going to get into that. But it's one of those things where we can get Jody, we can get you, Nick, and Da, and Ken, and Lyle, and Redfern, and we can get Barton Nunley, yeah, and Elijah Henderson, and we can put together a lineup of heavy hitters, of real people, okay, not people that are just giving hay rides and whatever else was going on. But
dude, I am like deeply honored to even be mentioned among some of those names.
Well, it's crazy because there was a time when I just read y'all's books and I was like, wow, this is great. These guys are awesome. But for me, I was never like, and this isn't like talking, but I was never like starstruck by anybody ever, because I was always in my own, to me, I just was like, I was a fighter, and I would meet other fighters that were famous or whatever, and I train with them or do something with them, and I was like, oh, these guys are cool, they're just people. They're just people like we are. They're just good guys, and then there's just not good guys. There's guys that aren't cool. There's a certain boxer who I know very well, and he's a professional boxer and known him for years, and he's a jerk. He's an absolute jerk. I can't stand him, and I'm pretty sure I could beat him up. But that's my opinion, and I just don't like that. He's not a heavyweight, so I can probably smack him around, but he's overinflated ego, and I don't like the guy, and I'm not going to get into who he is because he'll probably sue me because he's like that. But I've met him a few times in gyms, and everybody's all falling all over the place to try to talk to this guy. And there's a couple MMA guys like that too, and they're just like, yeah, I'm somebody. Well, yeah. But you know, these guys are not like that at all. You meet Ken and Lyle and Nick, and you talk to those guys, and they are the nicest, most down to earth people you'll ever meet. I mean, it's crazy.
That's awesome. I can't wait to be able to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, and I talked to Tony Merkel the other day, and from the confessionals. He's got a very a big following, good show, you know, and he's just a nice guy, just a really nice guy. And he's actually, pray for him, he's actually in Kentucky doing an investigation right now, and a particular individual was on a show from a guy that I used to do a show with, and he's been being harassed by that particular individual, and Tony's trying to help him out, and Tony's kind of nervous. There's been some stuff. So if people only really knew how many good people there were, you know, because all it takes is a handful of people to make things bad for everybody. And that particular podcaster, host, whatever, is such a bad guy in the things that he does. You know, it's like I feel ashamed for myself for just, you know, ever even, but Tony Merkel is a great guy, and I'd like to have him on board too. Jason Bland, if he could get away, he's another great guy. And he's up in the Midwest with you up there. I'd like to introduce you to him, DA. And those are the kind of people we need in this field of this whole, you know, to get a grasp on what we're dealing with, and just to. I'm going to be on Tony's show this month. I'm going to be on Jason's show. And on the 7th, folks, I just wanted you to know, I got to promote this too. On the 7th, okay, that's Thursday. That's 2 days from now. I'll hit you guys up, send you the link. Everybody that's watching the show right now, I'm going to be doing Paul Sinclair's show, but it's going to be a British-based show. I have a strong following in Britain and in Australia.
Awesome.
And so I'm going to be on his show, and he did a set with me, but we haven't released it yet. But it's going to be good. We're going to talk Dogman, and we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff. And I'm going to have to get up early for me, which is like 11 a.m., but I don't go to bed till 5. So
I'm right there with you. I'm a night owl. I stay up all night and write.
I know you do. I know. I hit you up last night. You and old Nick, we sat there and we burned the midnight oil together. Kind of how I used to with Scott Martis. Scott Martis was a night owl. He had kept weird hours, man, but it was cool that you could, you know, talk to somebody, you know, in the middle of the night, because I'm I'm out here by myself at night at work going like, man, who do I talk to? You know, and I miss him. I named my cat after him, and rest his soul. He was a great guy. I liked him a lot. But anyways, we talked, you know, and so you got good people out there. There's just bad people too. But I'm hoping, you know, that the good people outnumber the bad people, and we can weed some of these bad people out, you know, and so Merkel's out there, and hopefully he'll be a part of it too. I threw it out there to him if we did a Dogman conference, I'd love to have him come out there and several other people. But yeah, let's get this going. Let's get it started. And I'm thinking November might be a good month because things slow down. You know, October's the whirlwind month, you know, and folks, you know me, if you're a fan of the show or a listener, I don't do a lot of shows. And Nick, you know that. We've talked about this. You got me to do Jeremiah Fountain's show. I don't do a lot of shows. I did it because I like you and like Jeremiah. I've been asked multiple times, can you come on my shows? No offense, I just don't do a lot of other people's shows because I've had some bad experiences. But this month, I gave in. I said it's Halloween month, and I'm going to push. I'm going to promote, you know, and I'm going to, because I want there to be an audience. So when we do the conference and it's a hit, then everybody's going to be like, hey, that was amazing. That was great. And we could do it again. And you guys are actually, you've come up with a couple possible locations, right? Spots?
Absolutely. There's a couple of really good locations locally here that would probably bend over backwards to help us.
That would be incredible. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. Nick, quit being scared, dude, okay? When you and DA go out on location, you need to stop locking the doors and hiding underneath your blanket, dude, all right? I was very disappointed to hear that. I was very disappointed in you, Nick. I thought you were made of sterner stuff, but whatever. That Jersey pollution got to him, dude. I mean, what can you do? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, the only pollution is Tom's River.
Yeah. Well, say it again.
The only pollution in Jersey, honestly, and it's still buried there, is in Tom's River, because a lot of the people that are in that area get really, really sick.
Isn't that where Pyrus goes? And
Pyrus? That's where he lives. That's where he lives. And by the way, I even have his.
Oh, it explains everything. Wait, there you go. Oh man, dude, I gotta stop here. I'm gonna go to Hades, but would explain a lot. Okay, guys, it was great having you on the show. DA, love you, love your work. I can't wait to get your books. I'm gonna read them.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and
you care if I throw out my website real quick before we go?
Throw it out there, dude. Yes, please.
Right. If you guys want to check, if anybody listening that wants to check out my books, you can find everything at daroberts.net, or you can check out my own podcast, which is called DA Ex Machina, and you can find that on YouTube at youtube.com/DARobertsAuthor.
Yep. You want to repeat that just one more time?
My website is daroberts.net, and the YouTube address is youtube.com/DARobertsAuthor. All one word.
Yep. And he's cool, man. I'm so stoked to have you up there. And Nick, as always, we've been allies since day one. We're buddies and we're friends. And the guys, I don't think people understand. Like y'all, we can call each other in the middle of the night, anytime. All
Absolutely.
of you. We're all friends and we're all a good clique. I mean, not a clique because we're not just exclusively like, hey, we're to ourselves, like a little tribe, but we're all friends, and the flow of information is amazing. Like when I did my Chupacabra episode, I was talking to Redfern, and I would talk to Gerhard, and I was exchanging stories and things like that. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work together, folks. We're supposed to be like function as a unit. Not as this, I'm off of my own little fiefdom, and I'm not giving you any information. I'm over here doing that. I'm jealous, blah, blah, blah. We don't need that. Okay, that has to stop. And there's certain people in this field that just need to be run out so that we can get the information out. We can figure out what's going on. Okay, and that's why it's important.
Cryptozoology is not going to go anywhere. Cryptozoology is not going to go anywhere unless people start to open up and start to work together. I
totally agree.
That's right. And so we need guys, to stick together and work together. Like I said before, if anybody just started listening, I started my day. The first person of any, that was any consequence I talked to was Lauren. Then I did Lauren Coleman, which was a great way to start, the first conversation, and then Nick Redfern. And I talked to David Weatherly. I talked to Linda Godfrey. I talked to Dana Holyfield. I talked to Ken Gerhardt, Barton Nunley, Lyle Blackburn. That is a really cool day. And then I got to talk to Dave Roberts.
Tuesday.
That's a pretty cool Tuesday. I was like, hey, I'm usually like really aggravated. People are like, you're always frowning. I'm like, I am. There's reasons for that. But today was a good day. I was smiling and laughing most of the day because I have fun talking to my friends. And we talk about cool stuff, and we have all kinds of things going on. Folks, stick with us with PRT. We're going to win. We're going to win and win bigly, okay? Bigly. Write it down. I'm telling you, PRT, we got a lot of things going on. Okay, Patreon guys, if you've been with the Patreon for 3 months, you've been subscribed for 3 months, let me know. I'll send you a goodie bag. PRT swag, bro. All right? Did you get your stuff I sent you?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Okay. But Nick knows. I've sent him. I even sent him some Texas barbecue up there.
Ooh, now you're making me hungry. Missouri.
That was really good. That brisket, it was melting in your mouth.
Pretty damn good too.
Oof. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna get this conference going. Hopefully, we'll get it going. We got to get through October. I got a lot to do in October, but hopefully, we'll get it going and we'll all be together. I'll see you on the other side, guys. All right. Thanks for coming on the show.
Josh, thank you for having us on. You be safe, brother.
Yeah, you too, guys. All right. I'll see you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So that, folks, were a couple of my really good friends and allies. It's crazy, when you stop and you think about all the good people that there are in this community, and then we have to deal with a few little buttheads, And then everybody is like, it's like, God, there's so many good, positive things that come out of this working together. You know, why does it have to be all these little fiefdoms? Nobody wants to work with this person and that person. And I get accused of that. I'm like, oh, he fights with people. You know who I fight with? I fight with the people who are not good people, okay? Who attack people, who go out of their way to be oppressive, and they suppress information. You know, I mean, those are the people that I fight with. I believe I fight the good fight. I'm trying to bring the community together, you know, and it is a struggle. I've tried so hard to try to be friends with some of these really just not good people, and I've come to the realization that you can't do it. You just cannot do it. It is an impossibility. There are certain people that are going to be the way they're going to be, and there's nothing you can do, nothing I can do. We can't change them and make their perception catch up to ours. They lack perception. Power without perception, which is what they want, is spiritually useless and therefore of no true value. And I believe that. I honestly believe that. And you know, it is when you perceive nothing, you are nothing. And these people have no perception. Not like the people I just talked to in the last two conversations I had, but you got to understand that's what you're dealing with. Is this is a whole it's just cabal of just bad people, you know. And there's 2 or 3 little cliques that just need to be broken up, and they need to be cast out because they're not in it to help anybody. You know, they're basically they're just in it to self-serve. You know. It's like money. They want money, or they are misinformation. They want to control the narratives, and it's just wrong. Thank you, John, for that, and Taylor earlier for the donation. Appreciate it. I appreciate the donations, but I don't do this for the money. And all of the money we get, we put back into the show, or we donate to people. And DA, thank you for coming on. I appreciate that. And hopefully we'll work together in the future. And I enjoy each and every one of my fans. Let's look at the board here and answer a few questions. Yeah, Coralia, yes, caves are very dangerous. They are. What are you referring to? I took care of it, Josh. I don't know what that means. Hey, Anthony. I gotta put my darn glasses back on to see what the heck I'm looking at over here. Can I get a fever tree, please? Oh. Spyderco. Spyderco are good knives. They really are. I had a couple of Spydercos. I used to have about 50 pocket knives. Gerber. I don't know how Gerber are now, Dick. Are they still pretty good? Have they gone downhill? I don't know. I had a pretty cool Kershaw. I used to love that knife. I've always been a blade guy. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. PRT is a family, and we have some of the best fans that we could possibly ask for. 5 thumbs down, yeah. Somebody pointed out the other day something that I've noticed. In fact, Dick, it happened on the show you did with me, because I see you. It says Gerber's up their game in the last 2 years. I got to check them out then. We get dislikes, we get thumbs down, like 2 or 3 of them before the show even starts. Go look on the podcast, go look on the live streams. We get consistently 2 or 3 thumbs down before the show starts. I kid you not. It's like these people, they will even watch my material just so they can bash me, or, you know, and I'm just like, dude, Who cares, man? You're all going to be left in the dust. Those people that they are the lost people. They can't. It's sad that they have such small lives that they would sit there and watch a YouTuber or a podcaster just so they could thumbs down you. I mean, give me a break, dude. And John, thank you for that $10 donation. You're such a generous person. You're always such a generous person. I appreciate it. Thank you, Martin, for that kind words. Love Josh Turner. His shows are always epic. I try. I do the best I can. I'm going to tell you a story now. I don't leave without telling a story, at least. And I can take my glasses off for that. Oh, my eyes. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby. I don't know the rest of it, but anyway. Oh, that's crazy. I want to close my eyes big time. I believe that's Aerosmith. I sounded so much like it. I hope that YouTube's like, copyright is, I don't want to fall asleep. I don't know the rest of it. I could ad-lib. So here's what happened. Barton only wrote a story. I'm going to tell you a creepy story. Barton only wrote a story in that book. And in humanoids. One of the stories in that book, was Joshua, thank you for that $10 donation. I appreciate it. One of the stories in that book was about children that were playing hide and seek, and one of them had crawled under a bed. And this is weird, okay? So while they were hiding under the bed, they see these feet. I believe, if I remember the story correctly, and I go back and read the book. I mean, you can find the second edition for relatively cheap. The first edition is the one that's super expensive, that somebody bought for $1,200 earlier. But what happened was these children were, and one of them hid under the bed, and they were in a big house. It was like an older house, I believe. And this thing that looked like a werewolf came walking into the bedroom, and they thought it was one of their little friends or family, whatever. And they see these wolf-looking feet, and then they look up and they see it kind of sniffing around, looking around, dressed up like in clothes, looking like the big bad wolf, like the cartoony looking big bad wolf, but like a werewolf. And I'm not going to get into the story. You can go and get Inhumanoids and read the book and read that story. It was crazy. Now, what happened was I drove a friend of mine to Waco. And I actually told a little bit of this story on DER. The problem with DER is that I never got to tell the whole story on any of these stories because all I could do was tell the Dogman story because Voldemort tries to control the narrative and he doesn't want, thank you for that donation, Chris, I appreciate it. But he doesn't want people knowing, for some reason, I don't know what his deal is, but he doesn't want people knowing the woo, as he calls it. He wants to stay away from anything metaphysical. So I had to take the whole stories that were given to me by these people, and then just cut out everything that was viewed as the woo, which is anything metaphysical, and just tell the physical parts of the story. But this particular, I believe it was episode 247 or 248, one of those. I did 247, and then he had me come back the next week because he didn't have a guest, so I came back and I did it. And I talked a little bit about it, but I wasn't able to get into the whole, all the aspects of it. Well, anyway, female friend of mine needed a ride home, and her friend had left her, whatever. And so I drove her all the way to Waco. So all the way to Waco, which is about 100 miles. We started talking about the paranormal. At that time, she was living in a house that was haunted, severely haunted. Like, I talked to her brothers, and they were telling me all this crazy stuff that went on in that house. The boys were they saw a wolf-like creature in the garage crawl up the wall at one point, and they would see this every once in a while. They would see this wolf-like creature. One of the things that it did was it came into their room dressed like a clown. So when I read Barton Nunley's book years later, it was like 20 years ago when she told me this story. When I read the book, years later, it was probably like 10 years after that, I read that book and I was like, whoa, that's crazy, because that wolf-like creature was dressed, like a person, like it was. And so when I was given this story by my friend, she said that this had happened to her little brother, and her little brother told me the story. He was like, yeah, this thing came into the room dressed like a clown. I mean, everything, red nose, everything, but you could see that it was a werewolf. It was an actual werewolf, but it was trying to dress like a clown to try to trick them, or I don't know what it was, trying to be I guess to get it to follow them or follow him or whatever. And he was like, it was crazy. He's like, there was, I was terrified, and there was no way in heck I was going to go anywhere with this thing, but it was trying to get him to come out of the room into the hallway and being like, hey, what's up, but it was mind speak, whatever. So anyway, that story resonated with me, and that's the story I was going to tell when I was talking to Ken and Barton earlier. The thing is, that's not an isolated incident. That's not an isolated story. You're not even, there was a time when I may not have had 1,000 stories like I do now. And I would think, wow, that's weird. That's like, I'll put that with a one-off, but that's not a one-off. That I've heard this before. And in fact, I was reading a book about this haunted house, and it was very much, it was on one of these, they actually did a show about it too. I saw a show on History Channel. Or maybe it was History Channel or Travel Channel, one of those. But they did a show about it. But this guy wrote a book, and there was an entity that was appearing to the children as a clown. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, when you look at what these entities or creatures or whatever will do to try to trick people or get them to, especially with children, they try to get them, I don't know, just to take their life force or to I don't know what they want to do. But they're parasitic. I know whenever the show airs between me and Jason Bland from Paranormal Soup, you're going to hear him talk about his encounters with a shadow thing that was parasitic, and he goes into in-depth explanations on how these things are parasites and how they feed on us, and they'll appear a certain way to make people believe that, So it was just interesting. So you're wondering, in that particular instance, was this entity, was that its true form? Was it a werewolf type creature? Was that what it was? A spiritual, metaphysical werewolf type creature? And it was trying to pretend to be a clown? Or was it just a demon that was pretending to be a werewolf clown? When you go down that rabbit hole, it's like, dude, what in the heck are we dealing with here? Like what is it? I don't know. It's scary. It's a nightmare for the little children that had to deal with it. Like the haunting that went on, and I call it a haunting because it's exactly what it was. Even though on Mr. Blundiff show, I could not tell the whole story. I couldn't tell the whole story of the haunting, and I'm going to wear these. I couldn't tell the whole story. And so when I release my book, which I don't know when that's going to be, but we're going to start it at the end of the year. I got a lot going on, so by the end of the year, maybe we'll be ready to start working on that. I am going to be taking my P's and Q's from Mr. Redfern, because he's written 67, 68 books. I don't know how many he is now. It was 66. He's just prolific writer. He told me and Barton, like, he writes 8-9 hours a day. Okay. I can't imagine that's his, his livelihood, but I am going to take a lot of those stories, and I'm going to tell the whole story, the actual stories, not just the little bit, that was told on his show, because those are just the dog man. I mean, and that's fine. Those are true stories, given to me. But those are just the dog man stories. You're not getting the whole, what went on and what led up to that, and some of the dog man stories, actually a lot of them I couldn't tell because they involve the metaphysical. So I feel like, I told a couple people this today, we actually talked about it. I feel like I did a disservice to some of these people because I was only able to tell part of their encounter. And one of them in particular told me, it's a shame that, we couldn't tell the whole story. And I know, but that his, and it's his show, and his show is geared toward that. It's not geared toward the metaphysical. So, I can't really complain. It wasn't my show, and I couldn't tell the whole story, but so that's what the book will, and it'll encompass some of that. And Ken Gerhard gave me a very good idea for a name for it, I don't want to say it because you might steal it. That's if I tell you the name of the book, then you could go and try to write your book, and then you'll be like, "Oh, that's the book I wrote," because that's the name of the book. I came up with that name, and I can't let you do that because that's not how I wrote. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot going on in my brain. My brain's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so big and so powerful that if I unleash the power of my brain upon this world, like, it would implode upon itself. That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you, I'm a very, very intellectual individual that you guys can't comprehend what is going on in my head. I used to work with a guy that talked like that. I'm not joking. He really did talk like that. And he had like 2 teeth. And he would talk to me about how smart he was, like, all the time. And Scorpion, I don't know if you're on here, please, you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to bash the guy, but let's just say he worked at a particular building that we worked at, and he was always talking about how intelligent he was. And he was actually one of the cleaning people. Not in charge of the cleaning people either. And he would try to tell us, like, he knew all the bad things we were doing. Like, y'all be up here sleeping all the time. Up there asleep. Gary, I know you know who I'm talking about. Always sleeping. He was always sleeping. So here's what happened. He ended up getting fired by the cleaning service, and then he went to work for the security company that worked opposite of us. And so he hated us because we wrote in our report what he did. So the cleaning service fired him, but for some reason he got a job at a security. I mean, no bullcrap. This is a true story. So he got a job at the security company that worked opposite of us. And so I told Gary, I was like, there he is, dude. He's, So one day he explained to me, okay, and this place actually has some paranormal stuff going on too, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I'll tell you a little creepy story about that place. So he sat me down and he goes, let me tell you something, man. He goes, you think you're smart, but I'm really, really smart, and I have a very big brain. And when I do things and say things you brain can't comprehend or keep up with what my brain is doing and saying. That's your problem. That the mistake that you making on that part right there, because my brain is big, like big, and you don't understand. Okay, you cannot comprehend what I'm telling you. What he told me. He sat me down to explain to me that. Okay. And I drove an old junky pickup truck that had hay in the back of it all the time. I was like, where's this guy live? Like the Beverly Hillbillies or something. I don't know. But he was always trying to tell me about how intelligent he was. And I would just sit there and go, oh, okay, you're really smart. Yeah, okay. So one day he went to sleep. I walked up, took a picture of him, sent it to his supervisor at his company, and I didn't deal with him anymore. But he was so smart that his plan was actually to get fired, to get unemployment. See, he tricked me, and then he didn't have to work. Joke was on me. He was too smart. Joe Boss says, now you're doing an imitation of Mr. No, actually I'm not, but whatever. What did he do now? What's going on with that? Hi, Angela. It says you're just tuning in, but coming and going. Yeah, he was a big-brained guy. Claimed that he was a soldier in Vietnam, although I did the math. He was a little young for being in Vietnam. Claimed that he was in Vietnam and that no one could ever sneak up on him and that he had killed 650 people. And I was like, wow. I was like, most prolific serial killer in history didn't even do that. And Elizabeth Bathory, I think she killed 630 or something. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, Scorp, if you're listening out there, I don't know if you remember that. You called him Sir Sleeps a lot. We used to work with this guy. But he was always talking about he was going to catch us. The company we worked for was a startup company that doesn't exist anymore, and they were one of those companies that let their employees wear like flip flops to work. They were really chill. It was a really chill place, and they would let us security guards wear shorts, and they didn't care. They were real chill, and so they had a catering that would be every Tuesday and Thursday. And so we would be allowed to go in there and eat. Well, we worked directly for them, so they were okay with that. They didn't. And so I don't know if they didn't have permission to or what, but he would come in there every Tuesday and Thursday when we would get to work. We would be eating. Sometimes they'd have like fried rice with egg rolls, and sometimes they'd have enchiladas, sometimes brisket, chili dogs, whatever. And I would go and I'd make me a plate because I was allowed to. I was actually head of security for my company over there. And he would run in there and snap photos of me eating it like I'm going to get in trouble for it. And I'd be like, okay, dude. Sometimes I would like literally give him the finger and he would run and tattle and nothing would ever happen. So yeah, it was pretty weird. And then eventually he got fired because I just walked up to him while he was sleeping when he said that no one could ever surprise him or sneak up on him. And I did and took a picture. In his defense, though, he did say he was just resting his eyes for an hour. So that's probably what he was doing. Here's the thing about that place, though. Where that place is and where it's built, and yeah, Mr. Jive Turkey, he called me Jive Turkey, though. So, anyways, there was a small creek right behind that property. Behind that building. It was out in the middle of the woods. It was in the back of it was all woods. And Scorpion, I don't even remember this. And I think actually my brother, you might have been up there a couple times too. And there was a creek back there. And if you walked around back there, I mean, I'm talking just walk down by the creek, you would find arrowheads that were obviously there was Comanche territory, it's Comanche land. So they were probably from the Comanches. So there were arrowheads just walking around. I was walking around. I did my patrol on the edge of the property when I first got there when it was daylight, and I just kicked and I found an arrowhead just flip up, and it was just right there. And so there had to be Comanches in that area. Well, there was a control room that we were supposed to sit in, and I can tell you right now, I didn't, and I'll tell you why. Because, and this happened to Scorp too, dude. And we were sitting there, looking at the monitors or whatever, and I saw with my own eyes, I'm not making this up, okay, what looked like a dancing shadow. Now, I've seen it. I know Scorpion probably saw it, and I know that there was a guy that we worked with named James or Jeff. I can't remember his name. He worked with us. He saw it. But anyway, we all talked about it, and it was like it looked like if you see a Native American like doing a dance, like up and down the dance that they do, it looked like that. And it was a long wall, and it did it all the way across the wall. I watched it happen. Like I literally saw this happen, and I wasn't the only one that witnessed it either. And so I was talking to my supervisor about it, who would come in there and check on us. And he was actually one of the patrol guys, and I was supervisor for that property, for that building. And he came in one day, and he checked on us every once in a while. He was a real nice guy. He was huge. Called him Big Dan. Big Dan was 6'8". He was a huge guy, but not real muscular body, but he was real tall. Really a nice guy. And I told him about it, and he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Yeah, people see that all the time." He goes, "That same thing happens at the building next door, because there were two buildings right there together. They were kind of at a weird angle like this. And that other building," he said, "was even worse. That there was a lot of activity that went on in that building, but the building that I was at wasn't nearly as bad." Well, get this: that other building it was closer to the creek, and it had a lot more woods by it, and there was a lot more area where you could walk through by the creek or whatever. Ours was like further away. And I thought maybe that had something to do with it, because there was definitely Native American like arrowheads and things like that were there. And I was just like, man, this is crazy, man. I mean, like you were just seeing it like all the time. People were seeing Native American they looked like shadows, but they were of like natives, like native warriors and native people and stuff. But it was crazy, and it was happening quite often. The employees would talk about it. I even had to write up an IR report of a woman who claimed that she saw a shadow behind her in the bathroom. They grabbed her shoulders and scared her so bad. She was screaming and crying, and I had to sit her down and be like, look, calm down, okay? It just wants you to renew your car's extended warranty. I said, calm down. That's going to be fine. You're doing well. Something like it. Electric snake coming straight for us. Somebody give me golf shoes. I don't know if you guys are Hunter Thompson fans, but I am. James Estrada, yeah. Eventually, yeah, you can come on and talk about your experiences in the haunted house. That sounds good. I realized my name was not on this list. Mommy must have a sweet. Fear and Loathing. Very good movie. But you have to be able to understand it. White Rabbit! White Rabbit! Does anybody understand what that is? What White Rabbit means? Eric Garcia, no, I do not. Have I witnessed? What are you asking? It says, do you have any reports of a Sasquatch screaming at someone from within 300 feet? Yeah, actually, we do have a few reports of people hearing things scream and yell, but they didn't see it with the scream, so I can't really, But I can go back and look and see what I got. I can go into my Bigfoot files and see what I have. Yeah, I did. I had to go and slap the sense into her. Yeah, sure. To go up there, shaking her. Stop it! You're acting like a fool. Psh, 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 psh. Turns out I was just hallucinating. Oh, you're fired. I'm probably going to jail. Something even started a fire in her house when she was asleep. That's not unheard of. I've heard. I have a story that I got. This one happened in Wyoming, and not Wyoming. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. Montana. I always get Montana and Wyoming mixed up. This happened at Montana, way up in the hills. And somebody told me a story. It's not a real long story, but it is a ghostly story, and it is the spooky time of the year. So change your sheets, because if you don't, it gets spooky. Yeah, real spooky. So, anyways, what happened was this person was real into like heavy metal, and they had all these posters, and I remember what poster they said it was, but they said that they had a candle that was sitting on a ledge, and they began to play Van Halen, and the candle began to move, like the flame began to flicker with the music, and then when the song ended, it just went back to normal. So they turned on Slayer. I used to like Slayer a lot. If you know anything about Slayer, though, I don't really listen to them anymore because it's, can be kind of rough. The candle, the flame bent to the left and then went up and hit the curtain, and then went on or hit one of the posters. The whole left side of the poster went up in flames and then caught onto the curtains. The next thing you know, the whole room was on fire. They were able to contain it and get in. They get it out, and they got themselves out, but it was crazy, dude. I mean, it was just like, there was an entity, and she was like, "Oh, this is cool," No, it's not cool, because you don't know what you're dealing with. And so it literally lit her room on fire and burned her room up. And it was like a cabin they lived in, actually. It was made of wood, obviously. And it nearly burned up the whole house. But luckily, they had a fire extinguisher, and she was able to get it under control with her stepdad. Could have been real bad. So, yeah, these entities can do things. They can manipulate things. So that's it, guys. That's all the time we're going to have for tonight. I hope you enjoyed our show. I've been working out again. See, I got a song playing in my head. You don't even know what it is. You don't even know what it is. Dick Richards says Slayer's been known to manifest all kinds of madness. Arroyo actually doesn't live far from me, so maybe I can run into him and talk to him and say, "Hey, do you got any creepy stories?" Because I've heard rumors of stories and stuff, So maybe I can get in touch with him or something. And folks, we're gonna have some people coming on pretty soon and telling stories. John Edwards was supposed to come on tonight. I apologize, John. Or I'm sorry, John. What happened? You ended up having to go to work and wasn't able to make it. But maybe next week you can come on. I got a few things planned for next week. You never know what could happen. You never know what's going to happen. Paranormal Round Table family, paratroopers, okay? Stay abreast of what's going on in the paranormal world with us, with Paranormal Round Table group. And if you have any problems, you need some help with paranormal prayer group, and then we have Paranormal Lounge, and which is Nellie's group, Paranormal Encounter, which is Moochoo's group, and then I am in John King's Paranormal Truckers group. I am with Whisper Scream, and then I'm in about 200 other groups, and yeah, so everybody Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening and hearing me babble over here. And it says, I've got to order my PRT hoodie. You do. But if you are a Patreon member and you've been for 3 months, I will send you one. So, Angela, you can do that. You can do that. She says, "Good night, guys. Sorry I missed the show. I'll back it up and listen ASAP." Angela is the person that I was talking about who actually does some of the sculpting of the little figures, which are really cool. I'd like to get a set of those, Angela. If you could make them. Barton's still listening. Good night, Barton. Thank you for listening. And from everyone here at PRT, I'm about to go and get me something to eat because I'm hungry and it's late. And luckily, my friend at Spinner's is still open, so I'll probably go eat a delicious turkey leg. It's too bad you guys can't be here to eat with me. Spread the word, guys. Spread the word about Paranormal Round Table. Tell them that we have all kinds of fun, cool stuff that we do. You know, we put on a good show as best we can every Tuesday. And then Friday, of course, we do we drop it like it's hot on the podcast. That's right. We got Duendes in the house. Now, hopefully not in the house, but Duendes coming up Friday. Little people being mischievous, doing things. All right, man. I'll see you guys. Love each and every one of you, and don't hesitate to send me a friend request. And if you do, make sure that you let me know that you are a listener of the show, so I will accept it. Otherwise, I won't accept it. And I want to be able to communicate and talk to my listeners. I love you all, and I'm like you all know. Anybody who tell you I respond. I get 50 messages a day. I'll sit there and go through them all, and I will answer you as best I can. Emails too. Okay. So that being said, once again, I will see you guys later. Y'all take care of each other. If you have any questions, hit me up on Paranormal Roundtable group or message me or whatever you got to do. Thank you. Good night. I'll do the outro music now. You guys are like, this guy's lost his friggin' mind. What's wrong with this dude? He lost his mind today. He left it out back on the highway. Oh, we're still on? Oh my gosh. Everybody's like, we can hear you guys. So what? It's all good. From Austin, Texas, see ya.